That was fantastic. All right. Oh, I believe we are live here for the Big Pop Theory podcast. We're going live. Crown Jewel just happened. There was 8 matches, and we're going to talk about it all. As you can see, our graphic is called Crown Jewel Post-Show Review. And I want to sit here and say, one, hi everybody. This is the Great Grand Slam Puma for I'm sorry, the Big Pop Theory podcast. I'm joined with some friends of mine, some really, really shoot friends of mine. I got Storm 459. We got JD. I don't think it's Madonna, but we'll just say JD. And we got Mark Wins, period. Guys, I want to say thank you for joining me for this post show for Crown Jewel. I'm going to open up. Me and Mark Wins was watching it live together. I feel like we had a fantastic time, but I'm going to give the floor to you guys from Georgia. Storm 459, what did you think about Crown Jewel? And then JD, give your thoughts real quick.
In all honesty, I thought Crown Jewel would be bigger. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like this wasn't WrestleMania caliber. Not like last year. I could be off. I might be the only one who feels this way, but it was solid for the most part. Cool matches. Nothing to take away from these guys. They put on quite a show. A couple of botches I witnessed here or there, but not too bad. It wasn't too mid and it wasn't spectacular. It was okay.
JD, what did you think about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give the show probably a 3.5 out of 5. It has some decent highlights we'll get into in a few minutes. And it has some lowlights that we'll get into in a few minutes as well too. But it wasn't like Jeff said, it wasn't like a spectacular, like a WrestleMania type. It was giving me very much like a No Mercy or a Backlash, something that we're just fielding for the TV, and then let's keep it moving to the next scheduled program, because we do realize that Survivor Series is the next pay-per-view, right? So I do not think that they put on their best show with the anticipation of Survivor Series coming up within 3 or 4 weeks, or 3 weeks actually.
Yep, War Games.
And I'm glad they actually bring back War Games. But Mark Wins, I mean, once again, we watched it together. But what did you think about the show?
It was decent. I don't know. So I'm a casual fan. I watch it every so often. I don't know. I didn't necessarily come into Crown Jewel with any type of expectations. It was just, hey, it's a WWE event. Let's watch it. And from a casual standpoint, it was a decent show. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't super boring, except for, my own bias on one part, which we'll get to, I suppose. I got taken a page from Justin, but from JD, sorry. But yeah, it was a solid show. I wasn't expecting.
I agree. That was boring too.
I wasn't expecting a WrestleMania type event, but I don't think I was expecting anything, to be honest. I was just expecting a nice wrestling event, and that's what it was. It's just been a solid, consistent, from what I've seen, consistent event.
Yeah, I mean, the WrestleMania thing, I didn't think WrestleMania, I thought like, oh, they're putting some matches together. This is a special event. And I don't know if I can even want to say, I feel like there's one part where I feel like there was a story, the story continued in a way, but we'll get to it. There was an opening. Both me and Mark missed this. We were making our way back to the house, but Sami Zayn defeats JD Madonna. I guess it makes sense for Sammy to get the dub, but for me, JD has not been getting any wins at all, and I had JD winning. I don't know if you guys saw it, talking about both Storm and JD, but JD, why don't you did you catch the pre-show match with Sami Zayn against JD Madonna?
Yeah, I did. I honestly felt
no, I didn't catch it.
Well, thank you.
We're gonna rename Storm to Botch Tista over there. So we'll start with that. That's Botch number 1. All right, so I did catch the show. I do have a difference of opinion than you. I do think Sammy should have won. I think that you want to keep Sami Zayn's character hot and fresh, and for all different possibilities that could come up, and you don't want to have someone like JD Madonna end up beating him, right? So yeah, I get where we're coming from with JD, but
sure,
I think it's time for the Judgment Day to pretty much be done anyway. So for him to join
Fantastic.
or get in there and win. And I don't know where that leaves a Judgment Day. So in my personal opinion, I do think it was right for Sami Zayn to win. I was happy to see that decision was made. And, you know, obviously we hear another special guest appearance later on during the show that we'll get into again. But, yeah, I do think that's it.
What do you think about, let me just throw the floor to you real quick. What do you think about the Judgment Day? Are you a big fan of theirs?
You know what? I think
a fan? You don't have
I
to be
wouldn't say
big.
I'm a fan. I feel like it was all right. I feel like it's been taking on, it's been dragging on for a while now, honestly, for me. Like we're in the beginnings when they had Edge in it, right? So Edge is no longer with the company, and they're keeping up with this Judgment Day thing. And I'm not too sure how spicy or how real it is right now. I just feel it's a little bit stale, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm sick of seeing the same things happen over and over and over in their matches. I think the only person that doesn't get their match interrupted with is Rhea Ripley. Everybody else.
Let me ask you guys this real quick, because I had the opportunity to talk with Mark Wins. Let me ask you guys this: who is the leader of the Judgment Day?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. It's always been Rhea Ripley.
Told you. I just want to know because I told Mark Wins this earlier.
Because I was like, because I asked, I was like, so Edge started Judgment Day, right? And I was like, yeah. So I was like, now that he's gone, who was the leader of Judgment Day? And I thought it was either going to be, I thought it was going to be Finn Balor, but I guess he keeps getting dominated all the time. So when he said it wasn't Finn Balor, I was like, oh, so it's got to be Damian Priest. And he was like, no, it's Rhea Ripley. Sure enough, we asked you guys this question.
Told you.
That is incredible.
No, Rhea Ripley has been running everything. I mean, cheap plug tomorrow.
Rhea Ripley is the reason why Judgment Day was even standing for so long.
Rhea Ripley, we'll talk about her a little bit later into the show. But I was just going to sit here and say she's the one who puts everything together. That's why I sat here and was like, oh, yeah, no, she's the leader. And a lot of people feel that way when it comes to Rhea. Matter of fact, after the match, I'll say that for after this match right here. We have Seth Rollins. This show's opened up with the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins defend his title, his championship against Drew McIntyre. Real quick, let me ask you boys on both you, JD, and Storm. And this is not no knock to you, Mark Wins. I know you said you're the casual, so I believe you know enough. But please, if you do have an opinion, add into it. But how do you guys feel about Seth Rollins being the World Heavyweight Champion, his run so far? Oh, anybody could take the for anybody. Well, I'll give it to you, Storm. Let's go with you, Storm, because you're doing your best Judgment Day. You're doing your best Judgment Day work by interrupting people.
And the color scheme he has going on over there.
I don't think I'm doing it on purpose. I might be just delayed for whatever reason because I'm starting to realize I hear you guys maybe 45 seconds after you guys are actually speaking, and I'm starting to realize that even now.
All right, but we'll give you the floor. What do you we'll give it to you. What do you think about Seth Rollins' title run so far?
It's not the greatest title run. And as much as he's been putting in a lot of work and against his opponents, I don't know if it's just he's holding back because he does have a serious bad back problem he got going on, and he can't do it at the moment. But as of right now, when he first got the title, it was great, but not as exciting. I don't really care for it now. And I don't know why. I can't blame him. The opponents he had is pretty good. I just don't like it.
What about you, JD?
Well, I have mixed emotions about this. I think, like Jeffrey said in the beginning, or Storm said in the beginning when he won, I was like, oh, good. Let's see what he got. Yeah, there we go. One for me. Let's see what happens with this title run, right? And I was excited to see Shinsuke Nakamura actually be in there, but I probably would have saved him for a little bit later on. I would have put him as the first opponent. Because the same thing happened to him, if I'm not mistaken, with Roman Reigns, that he got buried. So here comes the Shinsuke Nakamura against both of these people, and the first opponent or second opponent, and then just washed away. So I don't know if that's like the best way to utilize the talent at that time. I do think that Drew McIntyre getting a run and all these other people, that's great. But I would like to see somebody different getting a run against Seth Rollins, right? So I think we've seen some of the same people time after time after time again. Obviously, I'm not interested in seeing Cody Rhodes for the 5th time against Seth Rollins right now. But if there was somebody else they could have put over there, I think that would have been, spice up this title run just a little bit. Maybe it's also the belt. Like, I don't know. It's just something about this whole thing.
You don't like the design of the belt, or you just saying just in general, the like person holding the championship, it just feels like
the belt is just not like attractive to me. I don't feel like it's a World Heavyweight Championship belt. I just feel like it's like a makeshift belt.
Would you oh, I'm sorry, you want to take the floor, Mark Wins, please?
Yeah, so I have a question for you guys. Is the reason that Seth's title reign feeling lackluster because of Seth, or is it because he hasn't beaten Roman?
I don't think it's because he hasn't beaten Roman, but you definitely feel with that championship, it's number 2 to Roman. It doesn't, we were talking a little bit earlier, and they try to make these titles feel like they're even, but it's not even. It's Roman is way up here. And I don't know how far you want to put with Seth, but it's not even is my point. And that's what I feel with this World Heavyweight. I mean, I feel like even AJ said in an interview where this is the 2nd place belt, So I think that kind of plays into it. I think Seth has done everything he possibly could to make that belt feel special. I just feel like he has so much work to do because the way that they have made the titles around Roman's waist feel was way up there.
So here's the thing, right? Because it's way up there. Like, it's one thing to be a 2nd place belt.
Yes.
So, like, once again, casual, right? But I remember, there's Raw and there's SmackDown. And once upon a time, I'm going to assume that there was, correct me if I'm wrong, the belt that was on Raw had an ever so slightly more prestige to the belt that was on SmackDown. And then I'm assuming at some point that switch where SmackDown was more exciting, so maybe the SmackDown's belt was more exciting than Raw. But because Roman is Roman, because Roman has been dominating for so long, does that have that type of effect of deterioration on Seth Rollins' title? Because you can sit there and say, oh yeah, we don't like Seth Rollins as the champ. Do you not like Seth Rollins as the champ? Or let's say for example, who did he go against? He went up against Drew McIntyre. Let's say he wins, and it's exciting for 2 seconds, and then he does his little title reign. Does it matter? Because we know at the end of the day, there's someone at the mountaintop that nobody is touching. Because that might not be a wrestler issue. It might be the fact that
it might be.
Go ahead, take the floor.
I think it plays an overall factor. I wouldn't say it's just the belt. The belt is definitely a secondary title. Let's keep it 100. Once Roman's historic reign began and Raw didn't have a title, this was when they made that secondary title, it was to appease the networks, in all honesty. But you count in the championship being a secondary belt. That's one factor. Also, I don't think I like babyface Seth Rollins. And I don't think a lot of people like babyface Seth Rollins.
Honestly, I think I'm sorry, take the floor.
It's cool, I guess, to a degree. Everybody's singing the song and all, but I kind of feel like he's missing kind of an edge he had when he was a Jackass. So you got that there, and I don't know. I think it's other. Did he just leave, this poor bastard?
No, I'm sorry. I wanted to put the AC on. No, but I'm here.
I think it's multiple. There's multiple. Okay. I think there was just ultimately more layers to the situation than what it really was. So, the championship is being a secondary belt, and I kind of don't like babyface Seth.
Okay.
Maybe just me though.
What do you think, JD?
Well, like to go to Mark's point, there was a Raw and SmackDown belt. I think when John Cena and Triple H had that belt on Raw, it was just like, okay, this is it. We gotta watch this program. And I think when SmackDown had their belt, it depends who had it. Like Edge or let's say
Batista.
Undertaker or Batista had that belt, it was like, okay, we can watch this, right? We have moments where we believe in the belt. But if you have like a Jack Swagger wearing that belt, it becomes almost comical. So I think that at this point, I'm not saying that Seth Rollins is Jack Swagger, but it's something about the swagger with that title and how they are portraying some of these stories that I think does a disservice to what they're trying to do here. So I do think that they could have done a little bit better, once again, with the talent selection. Maybe put a few different people over against, him. I'm not a fan of seeing the same 3 people just get washed away. And then
washed.
I mean, come on. When we want to see back Finn Balor in that, like we just a few moments ago, Finn Balor's just been almost a jobber in single matches, right?
You're saying it wrong. I'm sorry. Here in the Big Pop Theory, we say dominated. Yeah, make sure, and you gotta add you gotta head the motion. He got dominated. Right. There we go. Thank you.
Damn, probably like the demon dominator. All right, got it. But I don't. I just think that they could have done a better job storytelling or something of that nature.
Yeah,
as some of the talent has to step up also ultimately, but we'll see.
So great question. I wasn't prepared for any of that, and fantastic stuff from you guys. Seth Rollins against Drew McIntyre. They gave these guys some time. I expected Seth to retain. I felt like what they were trying to do is, give him time, and also to continue the storyline with Drew, because Drew is slowly turning heel, right? So you have Drew McIntyre, who, lately has just been, okay. Drew McIntyre, right? He feels like, he won the championship when the time when there was no crowds and stuff, 2020, and he was trying to do the right thing, but now he's not about that. He's about himself and his fans, and he also feels that he continues to mention the bloodline has taken everything away from him. So he complains about that. And he felt like he was going to beat Seth because he beat Seth all them years ago. But Seth made it clear, I'm not that same version. I am this version, which, I hear what you're saying, Storm. I get it. It's not everyone's going to be a fan of Seth Rollins, but I've been more of a fan of this Seth Rollins than any kind of version of Seth Rollins. So you had the Messiah, the Visionary, the the ultimate opportunist, right? Or I forget what he was at that period when he was with the what would they call it? The not the corporation. I forget the name. Thank you. I like this version way more. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Just but I like this version a lot.
I swear.
What'd you say?
I think it was talking about the delay.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Jeff. It's all good. You good. Listen, we're just glad you're here. But my point is, I really like
fucking delay. I can't stand the delay.
I like this. I like
it. I hate it. I swear I do. I gotta sit here and guess when to actually jump in, so it's not interrupting anyone. This is crazy.
Can you stop interrupting me? This show is awful. I love it. But Seth gets to win. Mark, we'll throw it your way here. I know you said you had no expectations really going into the show, but what did you think about this match wins? And then we'll shoot it to you, JD, and then Storm, the interrupter.
It was a solid match. It was it had its ups and downs. Not ups and downs. I don't want to say ups and downs like somebody was messing up or whatever.
That's just my life.
It had its ebbs and flows, but it was a solid match. It was nothing spectacular, nothing crazy, but nothing ridiculous and nothing like, oops, you messed up. Now, if there were botches, I missed it, but as far as just like a match, like it wasn't a terrible match.
What'd you think, JD?
Yeah, I agree with Mark Wins. I think it was a solid match. I think they had a fair share of back and forths. It wasn't a lot of uncaptivating moments. I mean, for the first match of the moment, for the first match of the card, it did its job. It set the tone for the pay-per-view. So I do think that they followed the assignment. They did what they had to do. Obviously, it took a pedigree and a curb stop to win in the end, and that just shows that this is what was needed for a big finish. So it was good to see both competitors, go out there and give it their all. So it was just really overall a good match.
Storm, please take the floor when you can.
As far as Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for opener, it was pretty solid. I enjoyed it. I don't know. Maybe I expected more out of it. I don't know why I was expecting so much more out of it. I expected it to be something great for a world title run. And again, this could be just another one of those factors that contribute to the fact of why the world heavyweight title run is not that interesting for a lot of us. But all in all, 3 out of 5. I think it's a solid 3 out of 5.
Ratings. My man's game was full ratings. I feel like I'm unprepared. I feel like I'm very unprepared because you guys, I know this was not the idea for the show, but you guys are all wearing black shirts, and here I am just showed. But that's what makes me the great Grand Slam Pooba, because I make sure I'm standing. Acknowledge your great Grand Slam Pooba. Throw up the ones. Where's the ones? Someone throw up the ones. You got to throw up the ones. You got to throw up the ones, JD. You got to throw. There we go. Yours is terrible, Storm, because yours is on the side. I think that what's great about this was they kept Drew strong. Like they really kept him strong because it was a curve stomp. It took two curve stomps and a pedigree to put out Drew. These guys have very good chemistry together. And you expect this match, and I agree with what you said, JD, is a great way to start off the show and set the tone of the show with something like Seth Rollins and Drew. And I think also, too, what you do smart here is you have your World Heavyweight Championship here, and then you have your Undisputed. But I also think that that's where, when Mark wins, he asked the question earlier about, the World Heavyweight title and the Undisputed Universal Championship. It just makes you I feel like that alone lets you know where this title stands. And it reminds me or gives me thoughts about, I forget what WrestleMania it was. I think it was 2011. No, I definitely believe it was 2011. But Alberto Del Rio went against Edge and he defended the World Heavyweight Championship, and that opened the show. And I don't think a world title should be opening a show. I personally don't think should, because I feel like, because that's the main title, right? So it should feel like, even if it don't main event, it should definitely be co-main event. Just a thought. Maybe it's old school me.
I agree with that, but if that's the first one, they've definitely been doing that. And this is me just feeling, because I don't remember. Like, I feel like there's at least one. Well, there's two. There's definitely one where I want to say it was Daniel Bryan that got smoked. And like,
yeah. You're right.
So
you're right.
Right. So you have something like that where, you use the title for that. And then I feel like there's at least one other match. I don't know what it is. Don't like
a championship match?
Yeah, a championship match.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. Open up WrestleMania.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
right.
true.
The beast.
Universal. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So there we go. Right. There's definitely there's a couple of matches like that where it sets a tone. Like the JD said, it did set a tone, and I get it. But there are matches like where it opens, even though it's a championship match, because I understand a championship match as an old school wrestling fan, as an old school anything fan, because even in there have been some boxing matches where a championship match opens the card. So I mean, sure. So it's not unprecedented. I get where it's coming from.
That's fair.
It's not unprecedented, but I get both sides of the argument where it's like you shouldn't have it open the card, but at the same time, if it opens the card and is exciting enough, it does set the tone. So
I'm glad that you point that out.
Go on, sorry.
No, I'm glad you pointed that out, because that was something that educated me, because you mentioned boxing and you said, hey, there's been those things where have happened. So for me, I've been a wrestling fan as long as I've known you. So a lot of times it was always the world heavyweight ends, and now we have 2 world titles, and I just feel, hey, maybe we shouldn't open with it, but it has happened. I'm glad that you brought up those examples.
But to be fair, it's never been a heavyweight title. Like, so in boxing, the heavyweight titles generally have the most prestige, if you will, right? So it's never been like a heavyweight title that opened It never that opened a boxing card. But there have been like featherweight, lightweight titles that have opened a card. Granted, if it's not like someone like super famous like Oscar De La Hoya, Roy Jones, things like that. If it's not them, they're not opening the card. But there have been title shots that have opened a boxing card. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So we move forward. We have Seth against Drew. Drew loses. Drew walks out the ring, and they show a video clip of him backstage with Rhea looking, the leader of the Judgment Day, looking at him and just goes, eh. And that leads to the next match. We have a fatal 5-way for the Women's World Championship. We have Rhea Ripley going against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Zoe
Wait, we
Stark.
gotta skip the failed cash-in?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
You know what? You're absolutely right. I'm glad. Thank you for that.
Cash-in.
Oh, tell Rashida I said hi. Hi, Rashida.
Hi, Rashida.
Oh, everybody's saying hi.
Yeah, no, she's the real star, not you. Get off the damn camera, Storm. This is kids watch this show. Oh, now he did. Now he wants to ignore us. Now all of a sudden you want to go food shopping.
He's got to ignore the show for the star. You know.
That's right. You know, she is the star. But he's right. I'm glad that Storm mentioned that. Good job, Storm. There was a cash in. Damian Priest looked like he was going to cash in, and Sami Zayn said no. You went to go and try to cash in, and Sami said no. You are not cashing in. Seth is going to retain, so no. I feel like I butchered it. Did he? This guy's a failure. Wait, listen. Round of applause for the real star of the show, JD. Yes. Round of applause, because this guy, next time he comes in, no one brings him in. But I'm glad that Storm did mention that. He tries to cash in. Sami takes the briefcase away from him, and Damian Priest is very upset about this. So, what did you guys think about Sami Zayn taking the Money in the Bank briefcase away from Damian? So I'm going to give the floor to you, Storm, because you mentioned it first. So we're going to give it to you, then JD, then Mark.
As far as this failed cash-in, I don't know if this was like some kind of cartoon skit. I know Sammy's trying to take down the Judgment Day by himself, but this seemed more comedic than anything. I couldn't help but laugh, because I'm just like, I don't take this segment very seriously at all. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't take that serious at all. I just felt like you're trying to make this guy, poor Damian Priest, look like a goofball. And I don't know, man. It's like he's some big dweeb running around, can't really get a successful cash in. I don't care for it. It was comedic, but that's about it. I don't take that storyline seriously. I'm sorry.
JD, what do you think, man?
JD, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted, bro.
Thank you. I'm trying to think of why the reason why they would do something like that. I think it was actually good that they did that on the contrary of what Jeff thinks. I do think it was. I do agree that it was kind of like, well, what was that about? But if my memory serves me correctly, there, like, people have lost the briefcase, like, in a singles match. So who knows? Maybe they could have set up Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest for like the winner gets the briefcase and a chance to challenge the champion or whatever the case may be. Who knows? Maybe they could set up something like that. But as far as Damian Priest catching Seth Rollins, I don't
yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see him having a successful cash in. Did you want to add any thoughts in, Mark Wins?
Yes, I did want to add a couple of thoughts because
please.
Primarily, I learned something today. I learned that if you don't have the case, you can't cash in. But then JD goes, there have been people that didn't necessarily have the case and cashed in. So so now I'm confused. Which is it? Like,
no. So I was saying, there's people that had the case, right? And they lost the case in the champ, like some kind of match. Like a stipulation was, if you lose a match, you lose.
Talking about like Edge and Kennedy, right?
Yeah, right. Or what happened with Otis, right? So
that too.
There could be something like that setting up for something bigger that could potentially break up the Judgment Day, which I'm really hoping for. So that's where I'm going with that.
Okay.
I don't see Judgment Day necessarily breaking up. I do see them kicking out somebody, and part of me says it's
Finn
Damian
Balor because what really? Not Finn Balor because he keeps getting on dominated.
It could be because there's even a tease where it could be him. So here's the thing with wrestling, right? I feel like in a lot of ways with wrestling, there's been times where we've all had a vision where this is going to happen and it didn't happen and it was the alternative, right? And I feel like with Damian Priest, because there's been times where, so okay, this past Monday, he went to Rhea and she said, and they make it, so they say in Judgment Day, there's no leader, right? There's no leader. I mean, the fans clearly made who's the leader, but Damian's like, well, we have no leader, but meanwhile, Rhea's putting matches together. Damian's starting to come off a little bit more of more vocal. And what happens usually in a group when you get a little bit more vocal? We gotta get rid of this guy because he's doing a little too much. So I that's why I sit here and go, I see Damian being kicked out of the group. I could be wrong. It could be Finn. Absolutely. There's a chance of that. Do I see it? No. If I had to pick, I'm gonna go with what I think, and I think it's gonna be Damian. Personally. That's why I think just by something like that. So the cash in, it doesn't happen. We get into the Fatal Five where he's talking about Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel, Zoe Starks. Am I missing a name? Oh no, that's it because it was a Fatal Five. I wanted to make sure. But Rhea retains, and I thought these women went out there and put on a really good match. I thought these women went out there, worked their asses off. I never in doubt thought that Rhea was going to lose. What I loved about this is, sorry, hiccups. What I liked about this was that Rhea, one of the things about Rhea, a lot of people complain about is that she hasn't really defended the championship. She hasn't done much as champion. But then you have 4 contenders sitting there saying, I want that belt. And I love stuff where, for me personally, and I've said this a few times on any podcast if they'll hear me, I love when they make these titles feel prestigious or feel like I need to win this. I don't like where it's just a prop or just a plant. You know, I want it to feel like it's important. I want people to go like, I want to win that championship because I'm the best. So that's what I loved about it. Rhea, and you know, I don't necessarily want to say, oh, I love the finish, but I thought the finish was clever. I thought where I forgot who was pinning who, but Rhea, she has the riptide off the top rope. I forget who she had in the move, but hit it on someone who was pinning.
Zoe Starks had it, and then yeah.
Oh, and who she pinned? Do you remember who?
Shayna.
Oh, damn. Shayna.
She pinned Shayna Baszler. She basically Raquel Rodriguez was gonna pin Shayna. Rhea riptide Zoe Stark on top of Raquel Rodriguez, moved everybody out the way and just pinned Shayna.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Delay. I love this guy. Oh man, this guy's fantastic.
Hate the delay.
But I'm glad that you guys pointed all that out. But I did think the ending was I thought the ending was good.
Bro, I counted. That's a freaking 15-second delay. How?
The fuck is wrong with you?
The delay, that's why.
This is going to be on my Instagram
15
story.
goddamn seconds.
But Rhea retains. Why don't we start with you, JD? What did you think about this match?
You know, I had a difference of opinion that you had. I think the match was a fast-paced, moving match. It was a lot of powerhouses in this match, which was what I was excited about. But still, in my opinion, I don't think it lived up to a powerhouse kind of match. Like I was expecting a little bit more, like move. I don't know, just a little bit more action. I felt like I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it was missing tables as a chairs. I don't know what was missing in this element, but it was just missing something for me. Like the Riptide, and this is my thing, and this is my biggest issue in wrestling over the years. Love the Riptide over the top rope. Why is Nia Jax still out from that powerbomb from like 3 minutes ago? Like, really? If the match was over, you would have rolled out the ring and walked your way up the ramp. how are you still out from that powerbomb for 3 minutes ago? So I think that's my biggest thing. Like, you're Nia Jax, the indestructible force. 20 people have to get you over the top rope, but magic happens and you just disappear like the snap. So I don't get it. But
Vaughn, reduce the atoms.
I'm gonna pass it over to Mark.
Please take the floor, Mark. Yes.
It was, once again, casual fan. Don't necessarily have any of the technical know-how. I know personally, I was mentioning this to the great Grand Slam Poobah either during and or after the match. I personally am not a fan of the one pin wins all, particularly with title matches. I feel like it should be an elimination match. So there's that for me personally, just me, right? Not saying I don't even know if it's objectively correct, right? Like there's like, for example, like there could be time constraints and all of that stuff. So I get why, it needs to be one pin and then on to the next match. But me personally, it's got to be an elimination. So there's that. But it was a solid match. JD makes a good point about how there was so many powerhouses. Like Rhea Ripley's supposed to be a powerhouse. Apparently, Rodriguez was supposed to be a powerhouse. Nia Jax is supposed to be a powerhouse. Who's Zoe Stark?
Joey. Yeah.
She's supposed to be a powerhouse, and yet it didn't come. And I think that's the reason why it didn't come off as like a powerhouse type of match. Because if everybody's a powerhouse, who's the powerhouse? Like, for example, right? When you all right, boom, take a Royal Rumble or any type of battle royale, you have random cruiserweight, random middleweight, some type of heavyweight, and then the Big Show. Big Show was supposed to be the powerhouse. And what does everybody do? We jump Big Show and then we get him out the ring. But if everybody's Big Show, not everybody's going. You don't have a Big Show to throw out the ring. So I think that's where JD's coming from. Where like because everybody was a powerhouse, and then Shayna Baszler was a powerhouse, right? Duh. So yeah, everybody was a powerhouse. So because everybody was a powerhouse.
But I disagree. I don't think Shayna's a
I
powerhouse.
thought Shayna was a technician, not a powerhouse.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. She's more of a technician. The more powerhouse was Nia and Raquel, and to an extent, you could say Zoe, but Rhea, but it's really Raquel and Nia is more of the power.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Once casual, right? So I don't know.
Sure. No, you don't even have to say that. You got it.
Ronda Rousey, was she a powerhouse?
No, technician. She was more of a brawler than anything.
Tactician.
Okay, gotcha.
That's even better. So, thank you for that, Storm. Good job.
There you go. So there were 3 powerhouses in the match. So that's what I'm saying. There was 3 powerhouses in the match, and because there's 3 powerhouses and 2 tacticians, I don't really know. They can't really like if you have that it throws off the
balance.
Yes, it throws off the powerhouse balance. Where it's like, do you really have a powerhouse in the match if you have 3 powerhouses and 2 tacticians that I thought were powerhouses?
Did you want to add anything to it, Storm?
It was a decent matchup. Very decent. Zoe just seemed to be she seemed to be the workhorse that was really trying hard, and she showcased a lot. But she also seemed to be the one getting like dominated by Rhea most of that match. Otherwise, I don't like. I guess I can understand where everybody's coming from, where there was too many powerhouses. But then again, almost all of them showcased something. Nia Jax didn't really showcase anything new, except for the fact that everybody walked away intact and no broken bones. So great improvement by Nia Jax. Yeah, so I'll give this match a solid 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, it'll be all right. It's pretty decent.
So because nobody walked away with broken bones and whatnot, because I feel like that's granted it is her size, but I feel like that's part of the reason why Nia Jax is a powerhouse. Because nobody walked away with broken bones and nobody walked that's the other thing. The whole effect that everybody nobody struggled. That's what I'm saying. Like, right, we sit there, we have all these powerhouses, but nobody struggled to deal with anybody. That's the other thing. Like, normally when there's a powerhouse in a match or there's 2 powerhouses in a match, you're struggling to deal with this. Like I don't know if you consider Undertaker a powerhouse, right? But he's tall enough, he's big enough, and he hits hard enough where it's like that's a powerhouse. I get you want to see he's a tactician or he's a brawler, but
Right.
he's big enough to be a powerhouse. When you deal with the Undertaker, you're dealing with a powerhouse, and when the Undertaker hits you, it hurts. Same thing with Brock Lesnar, Kane. You can go on, so on and so forth. Because there was none of that. There was no type of struggle. So, which is a good thing. Now, I think that not a good thing.
Okay.
I'm mistaking
I
I don't want to say a good thing, but I remember when I was watching it. All right, so boom, they had that part where,
Oh, you mean the power bomb, Tower of Doom, Tower of Doom,
power bomb, the Tower of Doom. And I was thinking to myself, 10 years ago, that would have never happened, because it would have never happened in WWE, because that's not what the women's division was at the time. But this is where the women's division has evolved, where we could just throw a bunch of powerhouses into a women's match and be confused as to why there was no powerhouse things going on. So yeah, I mean, it was a good match.
So I think you're confusing powerhouses with monster heels. I think that's what it is. I feel like you were looking for a monster heel, because that's normally when I see, like, I guess, the back and forth struggle in matches like that, where, like, you can have powerhouses like Brock Lesnar and Kane, but then you throw in the monster heel of Braun Strowman, or, you know, have a powerhouse of Lesnar and freaking and this is just examples, these never really happened, but, you know, throwing Lesnar and freaking Gunther, and they have a match, but, you know, to add in a struggle, you throw in a monster heel like Omos. I think that's what you feel like was missing. And in all honesty, Nia Jax probably should have been that monster powerhouse heel that everybody struggled with. But I guess, give or take, I'm just happy to see that everybody made it out with no serious injuries. So again, kudos to you, Nia Jax. Nia Jax is in this match. That's already a monster of a struggle in itself, making it out the match intact with no injuries. So no, there was a struggle. It was just an internal struggle for all of us, the fans are watching, that Nia Jax was in this match. And yeah, no, we got exactly what we were looking for. Still solid 3.5.
I did want to share real quick. JD, he sent me a text, and he was a fan of Nia Jax's kick. I don't think she got all of it. I think it was a lazy kick, and she JD was like, "I'm a fan." I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, Rhea retains, and as she should. I don't know. Like, I feel like the question is, I was asked, like, who does Rhea drop it to? I don't have an answer, but it wasn't none of, and not because I like Shayna Baszler, I like Zoe Stark, Raquel. I think she's pretty. I think she does pretty well. I like these women, but I don't think any of those women were going to be the women to take the title off her. Let's go to match number 3. Let's go with Solo Sikoa against John Cena. And I do want to sit here and throw out, I was surprised. I expected John Cena. John Cena, for the last few weeks, John Cena wrecked Solo the night before and said, "You're nothing more than a rip-off version of Taz. You get the mic, and that's all you can say," and then proceed to destroy him systematically with a raspy voice, and then says, "Oh, 90 seconds are up," and then throws the mic. So John Cena is fantastic when it comes to destroying you verbally, and fantastic. Just why? Oh, he's back. How did he do that? Yeah, how did you do that? He's like the Undertaker. You're just bung. But I was really surprised by this. John Cena was getting some offense in there. Solo was showing that he can hang in. John Cena kept trying to go for the AA, but Solo dodged it. So when he hit the Samoan spike, eventually I said, "Oh!" But you know, one Samoan spike is not going to take out John Cena because it's John freaking Cena. John Cena, you can drop an anvil on him and he will still kick out, right? So when he hit it a second time, I said, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time. And then when he kept doing it, I said, "Dude, pin him." Mark would tell you, I kept saying, "Pin him," because if you let John Cena breathe, you're screwed. So my point is, don't let him breathe. But when he hit him, I think he hit him with like maybe 8 Samoan spikes or something like that. It was quite a few.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. So when he finally pinned him, I was wrong about this match. And I'm satisfied that I was wrong about it, because here's the thing. John Cena, I think we can all agree right here. John Cena is the first ballot Hall of Famer. When it's time for him to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame,
Yes.
he's going to be first ballot. It's not going to be somebody and then John Cena. No. Because if that happens, someone that means cocaine is legal.
Wait, time out. What do you mean somebody and then John Cena? I'm confused because isn't usually like no, wait, because once again, isn't the headline like Hall
John
of Famer
Cena's a
usually
headliner.
last? Right.
John
So
Cena's a headliner.
aren't they usually last?
Who the headline? Not necessary. Because
Okay.
Kurt Angle, there's been a few times where they've said the headliner and they were first.
But I mean, in the Hall of Fame, in the actual ceremony, they were first or they were last to be inducted.
Oh, you mean when they did the induction speech?
Yeah.
Last.
Okay.
But I'm talking about like
when they announce it, like when.
Yes.
All right, boom. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Maybe
I wasn't clear. My fault. My apologies.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But my point is, John Cena didn't need this win because no one's going to look down at John Cena after this. Matter of fact, one of the things I kind of didn't like, and this was after everyone started clapping for John Cena. You see Wade Barrett, who was an arch nemesis of John Cena for many years, standing up clapping, and I you know what, I don't like it because I just feel like it's pandering to me. I got what they were trying to go for, or I at least understand what they were trying to go for, but I just wasn't really a fan of that. I was just like, okay, he lost. All right, like it's not the end of the world. What are we doing? John Cena has dominated people for years. Where were all these clappings for people who tried against John Cena? I just personally didn't like that. But I'll give the floor to anybody who want to take the floor about this. We'll start with you. Mark wins, JD, and then we'll go give you the floor, Storm. So JD wins. What did you think about this?
So another just decent match, not crazy. The rapid Samoan spike thing, that was pretty cool for me personally, because I was like, wow, he really wants to make sure he wins this. That was really cool. But to go about what you said about everybody pandering to Cena, I don't think it's pandering as much as it's respect. Not to make a pun, but it's respect to, like, because you got to figure, I know I was expecting Cena to win. And then they really made this big deal about how Cena hasn't won a one-on-one match since 2018. So I was like, oh, he's about to win this. And we in Saudi Arabia, and it's the crown jewel, da-da-da. And the last time he won was in, I don't know if they still called it a crown jewel in 2018, but that was the last time he won it in Saudi Arabia. So I was like, oh, he's about to win this. It's Cena. It's Cena time. And then it wasn't. So, and like you said, he doesn't need the win, right? Like he's what, 16-time world heavyweight champion.
Yes.
Probably doesn't want to be a 17th because he doesn't want to break Ric Flair. I think / feel he doesn't want to break Ric Flair's record. He's done everything. He's done all of it. Everything and all of it. Whatever you can think of, he's probably done it, except break Undertaker's streak. But other than that, he's done it all. And when everybody was standing up at the end and applauding Cena, I don't think it was pandering. I think it was just out of respect. And it might have been some people thought that Cena was going to win it, and he didn't. He put Solo over. And I remember you saying sometime in the match, you was like how he voiced something to Solo.
Yeah.
And like towards the end of the match. But that was literally before he started getting Samoa spiked out his throat, literally. It was like it could have been he might have called an audible. It was totally possible that he was booked to win that match, and he was like, I don't need this win. It's better if he wins it. I don't know. It's just I don't know. But so I don't think it was pandering. I think it was straight up respect for Cena and what he's done for the business. And then, I know they were talking about, oh yeah, this might be Cena's last match. That might have been a little extra. But other than that,
it very much was. I'm sorry.
That might have been a little extra because he's not that old, and to my knowledge, he didn't say this was his last match, or he didn't say
no.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That might have been a little extra, but other than that, I think it was just straight respect because it's totally possible that you and I were not the only ones that thought that Cena was going to win that match, and he didn't. And it was like, wow, like taking it. That's granted, it's beyond the kayfabe. It's where it's like, wow, he really lost that match. That's really fucking cool of Cena to do that. And yeah, I do think he deserves the respect and the cheers that he got from that.
I dig that. I dig that. What do you think, JD?
No, I agree with Mark. I do think that it's good to see him put over a Solo. John Cena also has that mic ability, top 2, top 1, whatever you want to put him in the rankings with him in the Rock.
Top 5 easily, yeah.
I put him probably top 2, top 1 or 2 easily for me. But I would say that when it comes down to an in-ring performance, and he's not gonna keep doing this forever. Obviously, he has other career aspirations, and for him to win would have made 0 sense. So, in my estimation, so I do think that him allowing Solo to win in Solo's first solo match. He's beating John Cena. On top of that, was just a little bit more special to continue. Like, well, maybe this is the what's on the horizon for Solo. Who knows what we could set for Solo Sikoa moving forward. And when it goes down to everybody clapping and showing their appreciation for John Cena at the end, I think it's something around like the realms of this. We could probably see John Cena maybe once or twice within the next 2 or 3 years in the United States. I don't know if Saudi Arabia is going to get a chance to see John Cena ever again. So I do think they're trying to do that kind of stuff with the international people. Like, hey, here's this megastar once in a lifetime you're probably never going to see again, and let's take a bow, let's go. Because I think that there's something similar to that. Like, Undertaker came out of retirement like 3 or 4 years ago for the Brothers of Destruction versus, like, or was it Undertaker? Somebody came out of retirement.
Yeah, it was Brothers of Destruction versus DX, and it was just
you meant Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels came out of retirement.
Shawn Michaels came out of retirement. So they do these things once in a while for those fans that's international to get, to see that star. And I think this is just their same moment as that. And I don't think that, I don't think this is the end of John Cena. I just think it's his last international show.
I think you guys have made some great points. Storm, please take the floor. What did you think about Solo against John Cena?
I enjoyed it for what it was, and kudos to Cena, because in all honesty, Cena hasn't won a match in what they say 5 years?
2018, since 2018. Singles.
Well, I look at it as this: he knows he's bound for Hollywood. He ain't got that much time there. He's just giving back. In all honesty, he's just giving back to the fans, giving back to those guys backstage. I don't mind that he lost. I'm kind of glad Solo won. I'm actually a Solo fan myself. I love watching Solo, but credit to Cena.
If I can say real quick, I was telling one Mark Wins, I said, this could be Jeff if he took his life seriously.
Damn, what the fuck is my problem, dog?
I do sit here and say, I think you guys, you gentlemen have made some really great points. Now, the only thing is, what does Solo do with it? Because here's the thing. Being John Cena is a big thing, but I sit here and remind you guys, WrestleMania of this year, Austin Theory did beat John Cena, and it was shenanigans, sure, but he beat John Cena, and then what happened to Austin Theory?
No one cared.
Nothing. We got someone in the chat. I do want to give a compliment to this gentleman. He's the coolest of the daddies. It's Steve. He says, "Sup, fellas? Storm is apparently you're joining the Judgment Day. Do you want to inform that you are joining the Judgment Day? Are you taking orders from Rhea Ripley?
Hell yeah, any day of the week. But don't expect me to take any orders from Dom. That's a no-no. Damien just doesn't know his place, so it's about time he left, and I joined the Judgment Day.
What about Finn?
I'm about to say we didn't mention Finn for some reason.
You didn't mention Finn at all. Are you scared of Finn Balor?
Finn's still here?
Who?
He's still here? I didn't realize he was still here.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm already in too much.
The Dominated. That's what we're gonna call him. Yes, he's still there.
Finn's the Dominated.
Nah, because that was ridiculous. Like that looked ridiculous to me. How like it was Finn, Dominic, and who else was it? I don't remember who the other guy was.
JD Madonna.
And they were running away from
Jey
Uso. Yeah.
No, that's simple.
Like,
you remember Tom and Jerry when Tom hired those 3 cats to take care of Jerry's cousin? Well, those three idiots were the 3 cats. All right, Jey Uso was Jerry's cousin, the bulked up little rat that just took care of all of them.
Goodness.
Apparently,
and this is why he gets dominated. Like, because that doesn't make any sense.
This is Steve.
Vanilla
Couldn't beat
midget.
I can't deal with this guy. He's such a great guy. Let's go into this other segment. We had a Miz TV segment. I'm not even gonna hold you. I just didn't even feel like this was needed. Miz, he comes out. The gentleman's name was Al Haja. I feel like I'm gonna pronounce the name wrong, but it was a gentleman that he came out there with. And I guess he's really big out there in Saudi Arabia. They they said that he's just as funny as who did they say he's just as funny as Mark Wins? Dave Chappelle.
Really?
Fucking Wade Barrett was yo, the way. Am I allowed to say what I'm about to say? Like, I don't even know. But like the way Wade Barrett was talking crazy, like it didn't make any sense to me. It was like, because he was like, listen, I don't know the guy, right? He's a Middle Eastern movie star or whatever. And they said they met him last night. And Wade Barrett was like, the way he had me laughing was just as much as with Dave Chappelle. Yes, and he did look like DJ Khaled. I did mention that, Steve. Yes, he did look like DJ Khaled. But otherwise, I was on it. You know how I feel about the Miz. The Miz is the Miz is, like, and it's completely.
If I could paint a picture,
I get that he is a workhorse. I get that, you know, objectively he did his job in WWE. I respect it, but I just didn't care. And then I heard what Wade Barrett said comparing this guy to Dave Chappelle. I was like, nah, y'all got me. Then I was like, wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. Like, get out of here with that. It was
I don't want to dig too much because I want to get into the action, but Grayson Waller interrupts. As he interrupts, eventually he takes over Miz TV. This gentleman sits here and go, I'm a Miz fan, or I'm for Miz TV. Grayson Waller is like, I'm gonna give you another chance. And he said, I'm going to give you another chance. Eventually, it looked like they're going to get physical. This gentleman and Grayson Waller. Miz is getting ready to try to defend this guy, but the guy blocks him off. This guy gets laid out. Miz holds him for a minute. Eventually, this gentleman does something to attack Grayson. Grayson then gets taken out by the skull crushing finale. This segment really was just not needed. It didn't do anything for me. I honestly, though, this segment was not for us. It was for that audience because I feel like they ate it up, but I was not for this.
I said, yeah, that's a fact. That's fair. But I mean,
so is Miz a face? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is Miz a face or a heel?
Miz right now is looking like they're going to turn him baby. On Monday Night Raw, he got into Gunther's face. And it looked like they're teasing a babyface turn, and they were saying that Monday that it looked like there was going to be a character change with him. So it's looking like he's definitely turning baby. So how do we feel about a Miz babyface? I want to give it to the gentleman on the bottom. Why don't we start with Storm? Okay, Storm already gave his. What about you, JD? I think Storm already gave his answer. But what about you, JD? How do you feel about a Miz?
Miz is already unentertaining as is, but make him a baby face. You just took whatever interest.
Are you? I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you laying down? Are you fucking? Are you serious? Everyone's sitting, and are you laying down? What the fuck is wrong with you? You come to my place of work and you're laying down, and then he drinks water. Are you serious? I hate you. I hate you so much. You're fired. I want you to know you're fired. You're so fired. I hope you enjoyed that last bottle of water. You are fired. Are you laying down? Yes, he is. I can see it's a pillow. JD, please take the floor because this guy's and he got another bottle of water. I hope you pee on yourself. JD, take the floor. What do you think about Miz as a babyface?
Miz as a babyface. I don't think anything about Miz as a babyface. I don't think anything as a Miz in general. Like, you know, I'm with Mark. Like, he's just a mid-tier card. I feel that Miz, like, fine. Miz could have started the park car with a Uzi. Miz is just terrible. Like, he just cannot get anything done right. So
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I took a minute because I'm looking at Storm because he's laying down. But you said he can't do. You made him sound like the guys who worked with Shredder in the 1980s. What was it? Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh, I thought you
You said
said
they
God.
yeah, I said he can't start a park the car with a Uzi. He is awful. He cannot. He does not know what he's doing. He's just a waste of time. Moving on.
Wow. Okay. Mark, I don't know if I got your opinion on him as a baby, but did you want to add anything to that?
I mean, so here's the thing, right? The WWE keeps him employed, so he must be doing
I think
something right? Like
Mhm.
he must be doing something right.
All right, employed, but at what cost? Like, I can keep you employed.
I don't
but-
You know what I think? You know what I think?
They
They keep him,
Dolph Ziggler.
Do you know what
Dolph
you
Ziggler
could?
was the ultimate price to keep Miz.
Do you know what you could theoretically compare? Who you could theoretically compare him to? And it's not going to make sense. It's going to be ridiculous
Marty
because
Jannetty.
Don't say Jericho.
no, Kane, because Kane was a workhorse for years. He has what?
I can see what you see. I see what you mean by that, actually.
Yeah,
and also too,
it's blasphemous. It's blasphemous for me to say that. Like, because I
he's
enjoy
accomplished
watching
more
Kane.
than
I don't enjoy.
Kane.
I don't enjoy watching Miz. Right? I'm saying, listen. I get it. I do not enjoy Miz.
More.
For
I think they're both
years.
Grand Slam champions.
Huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
But
they're
that's
both
not even. But it's not even just that's why they're employed. I think the reason why they were employed. I can't speak so much on Kane, but I can say on Miz. The only thing I feel like with Miz is that one, he's a good representation of your company. That's what you want in your company, right? You want someone who can listen. I've watched wrestling for a long period of time. There's a lot of wrestlers who have been in and out of trouble. How often do you hear the Miz is in trouble?
Never.
You don't. You don't.
That's why they keep him. Like I said, he's a great ambassador, I'm sorry, for the company. And I see that's why they keep him. I've never been a big Miz fan, but I respect his longevity. I respect that what he has accomplished, and also to him being someone who can. There's a lot of people who will not look at the Miz, right? Look at his career. A lot of times he's made to look like an ass out of a situation. Not a lot of people will do that because they want to protect their image. Miz knows I think he's so versatile. That's why they keep him. But I'm sorry, we went through a whole tirade about Miz. Let's get into this next match we had for the United States Championship. We have Logan Paul going against Rey Mysterio. I believe I was talking to Storm about this, but I think we were doing predictions or something like that, and I was like, I don't know if they put the title on Logan Paul because my biggest thing was we already have Roman Reigns don't show, and I'll let Mark take the floor when it comes to Roman Reigns not being here all the time. But Roman Reigns, he's your World Heavyweight Champion, and he's not here all the time. Do you want to put the title on Logan Paul, who is not here all the time? And the answer was yes. Yes, they do. And they did. They took it. No, not for nothing. I told Mark this, and if I could take the floor for a minute, Logan Paul beat Rey Mysterio, but I do sit here and say if it was Juventud Guerrero, that would have never happened. Rey Mysterio's a fraud. He's let everybody down. And it should have been Juventud because Juventud would have taught Logan Paul a lesson, sent him back to the world of boxing and YouTube, but not Rey Mysterio. So, and on top of that, too, I do want to throw out here, Mark pointed this out. There was a spot where Logan Paul, there was somebody who was trying to help Logan Paul. I don't know who this person was. I don't know who he was. We'll say player 2, Paul, right? And he tries to give the brass knuckles to Logan. Logan drops it or whatever. The guy tries to help. You have Santos Escobar comes out, but as he grabs the brass knuckles, he puts it back. He puts it back in the ring.
Idiot.
I do sit here and say, Juventud Guerrero's LWO, that wouldn't have happened. But Rey Mysterio's LWO does happen. I call this karma. And I am happy that this happened. And yeah, Logan Paul did it. He beat Rey Mysterio with all the hearts of Juventud Guerrero. So, guys, what did you think about this match? And what do you guys think of Juventud Guerrero?
Sorry, this one. So this match, I have one line. put a tent on that circus because that's all it was. It was a freaking circus. It was not. It was not a wrestling match. Now with Guerrero, I mean, come on. You talking about the WCW?
Wait. Can I interrupt real quick? So you said it was a tent on a circus. The match was a circus. So you don't like? Are you saying that you don't like Logan Paul as a wrestler?
No, I think this is where I would disagree with Ronald. I would say that
did you just
real names right exposed?
So I was very exposed.
So this go ahead. I do think that the fair share of these celebrities are coming in here, and what I would say, some of these WWE wrestlers should be embarrassed. If Logan Paul, Bad Bunny could come on here and put on a show and consistently gravitate to the fans and do these things, what are you doing? This is your day-to-day job. These people are doing it maybe 2 times a year, and they're putting on a better show than you are. So maybe you should reevaluate if you should be a wrestler or not. Now, when it comes down to Logan Paul, do I think he deserve a belt? You know what? Yeah, I would give him the belt. Because what was Rey Mysterio doing with this belt anyway, besides with this LWO shirt, jumping up and down? There was nothing else that he was doing every week that was bringing more bodies or eyes to the table. So at the end of the day, I do think Logan Paul could sit up here and have better matches at this point of Rey Mysterio's career. I do think Logan Paul can bring out more on a one-on-one interaction versus he definitely be embarrassed. Listen,
yeah, they should be. They really should be. I agree.
Name them all.
I can't even name 5 on that roster. Like if somebody was to sit there and ask me name 5 AEW wrestlers,
oh my god,
can come from WWE, I wouldn't know. I couldn't help you. I'd be stuck.
It's bad.
Name 5 AEW wrestlers that are not from WWE.
Yeah.
So if I say the Young Bucks, does that count as true?
No, because apparently Matt Jackson was on SmackDown at some point. In some point, I saw that recently.
Oh, you're right. There we go. But is anybody going to sit here and really say that was a WWE guy? Like Undertaker was in WCW, but is anyone going to say Undertaker was a WCW guy?
Mean Mark Calloway.
The meanest of the marks.
Like, listen. I remember somebody once told me, Austin was over there. It's stunning Steve Williams.
Austin, no, he was Austin. He was Austin at that point. Listen, Judgment Day lights.
I'm sorry, JD. Did you finish your point? I'm sorry because I feel like we
we do apologize. I'm sorry.
No. My point was just overall that I think at this point Logan Paul can bring more value to that title. The Rey Mysterio has brought value to that title. Rey Mysterio has, I wouldn't say he's not a disgrace or nothing like that. I was not only take it that far.
He is because he's not Juventud Guerrera.
What? Think about where we have to be. He had that belt for a little, maybe 3-4 months, and my goodness,
wasn't that long?
I forgot he had the belt for that long. I honestly thought he won it like a month ago.
No, it's been 3 or 4 months. I feel like.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get to this chat right here because this was. Can we please stop the spare spot outside the ring? It's like AI is producing Roman Reigns matches at this point. Overbooked, garbage. I don't know. Do you guys are you guys tired of the
that spot is definitely overused. That's I feel like because Roman really doesn't do anything and it's not as exciting as Suplex City, that spot gets used the most. And it's like you do other shit, man. Like, where's the drive-by? Didn't you have a drive-by drop kick at one point? Like, why don't you do that anymore? Do something.
He is God level. Gods do not do drop kicks. Gods bring you back these things. You have to play to the character. What? Let's see Zeus come and do a drop kick. Like, no, I'm gonna throw.
I would be scared out of my mind, bro. If Zeus hit me with a drop kick, that means I'm going to Hades, and I think that's hell, right? Is that hell?
Okay, Zeus does a drop kick. All you see is
right. No, so JBL started this thing. Listen, Roman Reigns is a god. We're not even gotten.
Hold on, you gotta do like what we're doing, JD.
The god. But we haven't gotten there yet. But we're moving too fast. All right, go. All right, go on with the circus. Continue.
We got right here, Steve. He's such a gentleman. He says, "Nah, I love that spot. I popped in Roman truck that TNA fool."
Again, I didn't even know TNA was still around. I thought they shut down years ago.
He really did. We did a show, and I know we did before the show started. He said that like, oh, I thought that the TNA wasn't around, but it's still around. But Logan, I'm sorry, did everybody get their thoughts in about this match about Logan?
When it comes to Logan Paul,
so go on.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Since
Sure.
Logan Paul got here, you can tell he definitely respects the business because he's always putting on a classic, no matter who his opponent was, whether it was Seth Rollins, Ricochet, Roman Reigns, or even freaking Rey Mysterio. I agree with JD. Rey Mysterio didn't do too much out there, and it's like
Because he's not Juventud Guerrera.
he's not. I'm sorry, he's not
Thank you.
Guerrero at all. And
Mark, we're gonna watch a Juventud Guerrera before you leave. Match before you leave.
You gotta watch. That's the juice, baby. The juice. But nah, Rey Mysterio really didn't do much, and it is sad that Logan Paul is outshowing you. But then again, Logan Paul again respects the business, so I got to give him credit where credit's due. Absolute star in the rising.
What do you think, Mark Wins? I know you wanted to add a thought. Please add your thought.
Yeah, I wanted to add a couple thoughts because
Please.
JD said something about how Bad Bunny and Logan Paul are. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something about outdoing these other wrestlers. And it's like, are they outdoing these other wrestlers, or did they already have a platform and they respect wrestling and are really good at
Snoop Dogg has a
wrestling?
platform. Have you seen how sloppy he looks?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Snoop Dogg has a platform.
He had a terrible
Sloppy.
people's elbow. I agree. And a bad fork splash.
Shaq, Mike Tyson,
Right.
Floyd
So
Mayweather.
Right, exactly. So boom, right? They all have a platform. So my question is, if they were good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume, hypothetically speaking, let's say Shaq, Mike Tyson, Snooki, Dennis Rodman, and Karl Malone, because that was a thing. I remember that.
I remember that too. I saw that live.
If they were good at wrestling, would they not be putting more butts in seats than these other wrestlers because they have a platform and just so happen to be good at I don't want to say just so happen, because you don't just so happen to be good at wrestling, right? Like you have to put in the time and the effort. So my bad for saying that. But if they had that, if they were good and they put in that time, would they not be out booking some of these guys that are just there?
No.
But this is your thing. This is your profession. This is your stomping ground. So it's almost like, let's say they did an invasion and Bad Bunnies and those other people that come in here that train for a couple of months and they come on here and they are actually wrestling better than some of the wrestlers currently right now. That's a problem.
You're saying they're wrestling better than some of the wrestlers. Okay,
they're
never mind.
They are wrestling and they're putting on a better show than some of these people.
Okay, never mind, because I thought
Am I seeing something different?
No. I might have. You're probably not. I probably just misunderstood what you were saying, because I thought it was just, oh yeah, they just so happened to be they were famous beforehand, and then they just so happened to be good at wrestling. But if you're saying they're putting on a better wrestling show than these other established wrestlers,
let me think about this last year. So last year, when Roman Reigns was doing his title matches like once a month, right? Mm-hmm. Logan Paul arguably was one of probably his best match last year. Arguably.
Talking about Roman?
Yeah, and versus Logan Paul.
That was a pretty sweet match.
It was a good match. When did he wrestle? I mean, not Roman. When did he wrestle?
Seth?
Brock. Because that was a really good match. When did Roman wrestle Brock? When the ring collapsed. When was that? Was that this year?
That was SummerSlam last year.
Okay, so that was a good match too. But I hear you. You're saying arguably it was one of the best matches.
Yeah,
so I mean, top two. I'll give you that. That makes sense.
So somebody that came off the street that was
oh my god,
famous for TikTok and Pokemon cards comes on here and he out wrestles the other 9 that he faced this year. That's embarrassing. Sorry, it's embarrassing.
That makes sense. That's fair. That's very, very fair.
Did anybody want to add any more thoughts before we move on to the next match? Because we have besides this match.
Oh, may I? Yeah, because the fucking LW was idiots. So this is. I don't think this has much to do with the match as much as the LWO, whoever the fuck that was. Whoever that was is an idiot.
No, you can cuss. You're allowed to cuss. It's
we're allowed to cuss? That
Yeah.
guy's a fucking idiot. Because there's no way, if I was Rey Mysterio, I'd leave. I would not be a part of LWO anymore. There's no way. I watched that match. I watch it back. Yo, what happened? How did he get the brass knuckles? And I see what happened. And my stable mate, my faction mate, left the brass knuckle in the ring. I'm done.
I agree to this. No, McAfee is really good in the ring, though. I do want
that. I don't know when he wrestled, but I remember watching that match. McAfee definitely put on a decent match. I remember that. Yeah, but yeah, I would leave the LWO. You got me messed up. You got me fucked up. No,
I would. You know what? I would have never joined. You know why I would have never joined?
Because of Rey Mysterio.
Because Juventud Guerrero wasn't leading. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you guys on the bomb don't have any idea how great Juventud Guerrero is. I know because I'm in it.
Are we talking about WCW Juventud Guerrero?
I'm just talking in general, Juventud Guerrero. I'm sorry. Like
the remake?
Do you think you? Huh?
The remake? Or the real original Juventud Guerrero?
I'm talking. Listen, are you trying to embarrass me here? I know Juventud Guerrero. He used to dominate back in the day. I don't know what you saw, but I know what I saw. And Hoovy was always winning. You have a lovely smile, by the way.
Before or after Lita?
That's a real church.
I know. I just want to make fun of. Because to me, they're the same person. I'm glad you got it because they're the same exact wrestler.
No, they're not. No. Juventud Guerrero won. Hoovy beat Rey Mysterio. I can't say that about Eso Rios. And by the way, you remember at one point in the Attitude Era, Kurt Angle blamed him and said Eso Rios probably ran over Stone Cold. He said he probably ran.
We know Eso Rios for a couple of things. Now, when it comes down to some, what is it? The little technical wrestling and the little monkey flips in the ring. Congratulations, Juventud. You got that.
You know, you're very rude. I do want everyone to enjoy JD on the Big Pop Theory podcast because this is the last time you will see him here. But let's move on from Logan Paul winning the championship to Bianca Belair going against Io Sky. And I do want to give the floor a little bit to JD because he hit me up immediately after because there was a big surprise at the end. These women have really good chemistry. These women had a good match and Backlash in Puerto Rico. Io won the title off Bianca. Excuse me, hiccups at more hips at SummerSlam, and Io's been holding the championship ever since. Bianca wants a rematch. She gets a rematch. I did want to sit here and say I didn't compliment a lot of the gear here, but I did like Io Sky's gear. It gave me that mid-2000 leader outfit because she had like the army pants and stuff like that. And Bianca always have some really fantastic gear. These women went out there. They had they were having a solid match. Eventually, Damage Control comes out. You see. I don't think we ever see Dakota comes out. I feel like she was, but I didn't see her.
I don't think Dakota came out. No.
Yeah. Okay. But we see Bayley. I have a love for Bayley. She took a picture with me. Anybody who ever took a picture with me, I have a love for. Except you, Storm. I delete all of my pictures with you. I just want to throw that out there. I love this guy. I know he's playing right now. He's playing Cyberpunk. Are you kicking ass at Cyberpunk at least?
Yes. I'm a
okay. Good. Fantastic. But we do get a figure coming out, and at first I thought it was Zelina Vega because the woman, the person who came out was so small. I said, "Is that Zelina Vega?" And then it's revealed to be Kairi Sane. And JD hit me up immediately and was like, the crowd didn't give a big reaction to her, the reveal. I popped big, and Mark Wentz can vouch for me because when I saw it, I said, "Oh!" And I'm always loud anyway. But it was great to see Kairi return. She helps Io retain. It looked like there was going to be a count-out victory, but when Belair rose into the ring, she falls victim to the moonsault, and Io gets the win. And you see Io and Kyrie attack Bianca, and then you see a confused Bailey. So it does make you wonder. And I didn't throw this in earlier, but there was a spot where Io tried to hit Bianca when they were outside, but then she hits Bailey. And there's always been this thing where it looked like there's going to be a split in damage control with Io and Bailey, or Bailey's going to turn on Io. No one knows who's going to turn on who. But now you have Kyrie Sane in there, and it makes you go, are these girls, is Io and Kyrie, she has no alliance to Bailey. I'm glad that Michael Cole brought up this past thing where in 2020, Kyrie left WWE because Bailey attacked, well, it was at the time Sasha and Bailey, they attacked her or something like that, and then they left her for dead. And it makes you wonder how that's all going to play into the future. I'm going to give the floor to JD, and I'm going to get into the chat because I see our friend Steve in the chat. But JD, please take the floor. What did you think about this match and Kyrie returning? We'll give it to Mark Wins, and then we'll give it to Storm.
Yeah, I think the match was actually pretty decent. Actually, it's probably one of the better matches of the night. I think they both put on a very good show. Anytime Bianca's out there wrestling, I do think that she puts in her best effort. Yeah, she puts in her best effort, and I do think you'll get 110% out of her. The crowd just, I don't know. I'm not sure if they are just not into women's wrestling or whatever it was, because even the other women's wrestling match, they didn't seem too into that. But they completely had no idea who Kyrie Sane was. It could have been like just no reaction. It could have been a referee coming out there, and they would have been like, okay, whatever. So it was one of those things where I was just like, what is wrong with this crowd? But then I forgot where we were at. Nothing against Saudi Arabia, but I just don't think they have the
I agree.
Or knew who Kyrie Sane was. So that was good.
And this was a big return. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you up, but I just felt like this was a big return.
Yeah, I think this could have been safe for something like Survivor Series, but I think they want to give the fans something over there that they haven't seen. And they obviously show that they don't deserve anything like that again. They need to get the basics moving forward, because they're very, very, very basic. So, in a nutshell, surprised Kyrie Sane came back, because I don't think that was one of the. If you're asking me, if you took a poll and said 4 ladies are coming back, I think I would have just dismissed Kyrie Sane coming back to WWE, based on what I heard before. So it's great to see her back. It's great to see her with Io Sky. I'm interested to see what happens with damage control moving forward. But this is just another woman in the WWE on SmackDown that's going to be able to just help elevate that woman's brand over there. Because you see what happens on Raw. Getting I don't know where Jade's going. It seems like, I don't know what's happening next with somebody else. But I think it's going in the right direction for the women's division.
Okay. Mark, please take the floor. Period.
So I have a question. I have a couple questions. No, I'm lying. I have one question and one observation. So I have a question. When did Michael Cole did mention that Bailey was involved in Kyrie getting beat up and jumped out of the WWE. When did that happen?
2020.
Yep.
Oh, so Saudi Arabia definitely should have been knowing what was going on. Okay, cool. So then, yeah, that's whatever. That means they're just as casual as I did, because I didn't know who that was. So that's whatever.
The women's wrestling awareness is that too.
Oh, that makes sense, right? So boom, Saudi Arabia, right? They don't really,
right?
Yeah, they don't. I don't want to say no. Fuck that. I'm gonna say it. They don't really care for women's rights. So they and they were very.
I'm coming in the front to get the Bacardi.
Okay.
Keep going.
They were very dead during both Bianca's match and the what was it? Rhea's match with the
Fatal 5-Way.
They don't
really care for women's wrestling down there. As a matter of fact, I know this is what their 5th Saudi event. I believe the first time they went, women weren't competing at that show.
So yeah, there we go. So that probably has something to do with why they didn't care. Right? Because I was definitely I was like, well, maybe they're casual like me and they just didn't know, because I just didn't know. But because it happened in 2020 and there was definitely a crown jewel in 2020, it's like they should know, but they don't care.
No, they just don't give a damn. If you notice, even like they're not allowed to wear their regular costumes out there.
Yeah,
So,
right. That was something I didn't notice too, because
they can't show skin.
Yeah,
They can't show
everybody
skin.
they're not allowed to show
definitely
skin.
covered up.
So it's just one of those things where when it comes to the Saudis, it's definitely what Mark said. They don't give a damn. They don't care for really women wrestling.
Right.
I guess I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, but I believe their first Saudi show, they didn't have women on the card.
You're absolutely right, sir.
I think
they did not. I forget how long it was. I don't know if it was like show 3, show 4. I know the first match was Natalya against Lacey Evans. I
believe it might have been show 3 when women started, or were allowed to be on the card, and then it was just last year, I believe, where people like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were showing up down there.
I think Kevin Owens was always on the show. Sami, not so much. Well, I think Kevin Owens, I forget, because Kevin Owens was on the show, and I think he stopped out of loyalty to his friend. Sami, I forget his actual background, but he wouldn't go down there, and he started going down this year alone. I just forget like all the details involved. But yeah. I'm sorry, we were talking about this thing. Who had the floor? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
It
take.
was me, no worries. So now, outside of the bigger Saudi picture, I did notice that in terms of the match, I did notice that when Io Sky hit Bayley, she wasn't super concerned, right? Like like how when somebody accidentally hits their stablemate, their faction mate, their teammate.
You mean anytime me and Jeffrey was ever in a tag match and he hit me? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, right. Anytime that happens, they're like, "Oh my goodness, oh man, what happened? Da 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 da! I can't believe this happened." Io Sky was looking like, interesting. I hit her. Like she was not concerned that like she smoked Bayley at all. And at the time, it's like, you didn't. I at the time I didn't think much of it. But now, like listening to the whole, Kairi Sane getting jumped out of getting beat up by Bayley and whatnot, and her being there, like clearly Io Sky knew she was going to be there.
Right.
Bayley clearly didn't, because Bayley was like, "Oh snap, what's going on here?" So it's just something that's just an observation I noticed, where it's like,
I wanted to touch on something. I saw this on Instagram and I thought it was so cool. Someone recorded and I don't know where Kairi was, but she was there waiting for her cue. And the guy was like, and Kairi does like, so I'm glad that she's brought back. I think Kairi is going to be a great addition to this women division because she's just great. I mean, I honestly believe when it comes to elbow drops, right? You talk about, so I think me and JD have had this conversation before. And when we talk about best elbow drop, and Marshall, he does a good elbow drop because he just falls on you. But I think Shawn Michaels, and one of the reasons I think both of us too, JD. What do we like about Mike? I want him to do the gesture. What does Michael do when he does the elbow? He's flashy, but I think we can agree Kairi Sane has probably the best elbow drop. Would you agree to that? Would you guys agree to that?
I haven't seen it enough, and I'm definitely impartial to, or maybe partial to.
Are we talking
Macho
male or
Man.
female?
I'm talking about in general, right? Like
both.
Yeah,
I was gonna say both, but if you want to just use female, sure. Because I don't know to me.
I mean, right? That's what I'm saying. In terms of female, it's like it was definitely a really good elbow, but in terms of all time, I don't know. I don't think I can objectively answer that question. So I'm just gonna.
What about you guys?
Defer to you guys. Because I am a Macho Man guy. Macho, not to take up too much time, but Macho Man, the reason why I love the flying elbow. So there's that.
What do you got, JD? Oh, JD. Yeah. I think JD. I feel like JD was so disappointed.
I mean,
what you said, he was like.
I mean, the Macho Man elbow drop was just an introduction to the elbow drop, so it did its purpose from the beginning, right? So
that's fair.
Yeah.
It's like somebody that makes up a DDT in the beginning. There's going to be flashier and flashier ones that come out. So I do think we do want to thank Macho Man for showing us what's possible but we obviously see the elevation and the
It's been
how-
surpassed.
Yeah, I mean, Shawn Michaels was just flashy. You see him jump up in the air, just there's cameras flicking. Everybody wants that picture. I don't know if I saw that before on Macho Man. And with Kairi Sane, it's just one of those things where it's just it's like almost the swanton bombs or elbows.
To be fair to Macho Man,
he had no business.
No. Never mind. Because there were definitely. You're right. That was before smartphones. There were definitely disposable cameras and shit.
There
right.
was.
Never mind. Yeah. Right. Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
I was gonna say there was flashes. I'm pretty sure there was definitely flashes, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But what about you, Storm? Do you want to add anything?
No, JD hit it right on the head. I'd say Michaels had the best elbow drop of all time. Kairi Sane, I guess, would come right behind. But then again, we can't really determine that off the crowd that we had in Saudi Arabia. Nobody cared.
No, I wasn't basing off that. It's really just more subjective because even with Mark saying, I can respect what Mark is saying on why he thinks Macho Man's was the best. I can totally respect it, even though he's a Bill Goldberg fan. But I can respect what
Goldberg.
I will mute you. I have the power here. Okay, so why don't we get into this main match before we get to the main event? We went a whole hour and 30 minutes. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me to talk about some professional wrestling and just having a conversation. But we had Damian Priest, who is Money in the Bank list, but he has the tag titles, and he's going against one Cody Rhodes, who has the power of all 50 states. I'm going to add another state. I don't know. I don't think it's 51, but I'm just going to say my point is Cody gets stronger every day. Cody is going into this match with a broken foot, but I sat here and said that I wouldn't bet against Cody.
Time out. That's the story. He doesn't actually have a broken foot.
No. It's the story.
Okay.
Because Cody got to finish the story.
Because you can't do shit with a broken foot. You have to sit down. Okay. Just
That's
check.
a fact.
I was like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mark. I should have explained to you. It's not actually broke.
Okay.
It's storyline wise, because I don't think they would.
Because I was like, I watched the match and there was nothing wrong with his foot.
But he did sell a few times with his foot. Like he did something where he landed just to oh, excuse me. Sorry, these hiccups. I blame the tacos that we're going to get some more tacos after this. Tacos are great, guys. But he goes into this match with a broken foot, storyline wise, Mark. But I do sit here and say, anytime Cody has a broken limb, Cody gets stronger. Cody does not care. Cody is pretty much all might, but stronger.
Zenkai boost.
You know, what's it called? Hakai? Is it called Hakai?
A Zenkai boost, like when the Saiyans they're near death, and then after that they get stronger and whatnot. Let's go on, Dally Pool. But yeah, when they get injured, they get stronger. So like they get injured, they're in death, and they get stronger. Apparently, Cody's a Saiyan.
Yeah, Cody is a Saiyan. You can tell by the blonde hair, although that's his natural state. But I sit here and go and say all that because Cody, he had a legitimate torn rotator cuff last year, right? Was it last year? Beat Seth Rollins with a broken with one arm, and then Cody went against Brock Lesnar with a broken hand. I went against him, but then Brock, it's Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar don't care; he'll just beat you. But my point is, anytime Cody has a broken limb, Cody's getting stronger. Cody's going to dominate you. And so this match happens. You have him and Damian Priest. Damian Priest starts the match off. He, gets a cheap shot in when Cody does the. Say it with me, guys. No, you guys didn't do it. I'm so disappointed in you guys. But he interfered. He stops him. He attacks him before the match. Is someone drinking water? Yes. Is that water good?
Yes.
I'm gonna get some water too. That water looks very good. Is that fresh Georgia water?
That's vodka. That's not no water.
Is it? Are you drinking vodka? Are you drinking on the air? You listen. There's decorum on the show.
Takes a sip.
Mark, I know you're getting some water. Give me some water too. Oh, he's using the bathroom. Fantastic. He went to go use the bathroom. The show went so long. He said, "I got to use the bathroom.
That's
I
not a
got to
bad
use the
idea.
bathroom." Now he going to. I guess it's just me and you, JD.
What's up? What's up?
I'm glad to be doing this show with you, man. We go way back. We go back to 3rd grade. But let's talk about it. Damian Priest against Cody. Are you surprised that Cody got the win here against Damian Priest?
No, I'm not surprised, but I do think they should have probably pushed Damian Priest if they do think that he is a future champion. You know,
You think Damian Priest is a future champ?
if they think he's a future champion, he should have won the match. So I don't see them doing anything to help with that narrative at all to push Damian Priest in that level. Because the show is wild.
Very much.
I do think that Cody, he's on like a different level. So I don't think that
He
when I saw Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes, like automatically I put check. This is gonna be another win for Cody Rhodes. I didn't expect anything different. Did you expect something different?
No, I really didn't. I didn't expect that because, not for nothing. I feel like Cody is one of the best or one of the more protected wrestlers, superstars in WWE. And I expected him to beat Damian Priest. I thought Damian Priest had a good showing. You mentioned about maybe them seeing him as a world champion. I don't think that so much. I think that I don't know because like future, maybe sure, but not right now. I don't see him cashing in on Seth and having a successful cash in on Seth, and especially Roman. I think we can all agree that he's not cashing in on Roman and is going to be successful because Roman is not dropping that championship, and we'll get to him because it's the main event. But I didn't expect that to be a thing. I expected Cody to win. Cody,
Damian Priest, real quick. If they're not careful enough, they're going to end up putting him in the same category as Baron Corbin, where there was so much potential, so much this, so much of that. Now he's relegated to these bottom level joke wrestling that doesn't make any sense. So if you're not going to do something with Damian Priest now, how about maybe build back up his Browns, send him to NXT, do something different. I don't know what you could do right now, but right now,
do you feel like he's not stagnant, but do you feel like I don't know. I'm trying to feel like stuck. Do you feel like Damian is stuck? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I could say something, but I honestly, like we had this conversation before. I do honestly see, I do see him beating a Seth Rollins. If he ever beat somebody, I think he should beat a Seth Rollins at this point, and I think he should have. If he cashed into Saudi Arabia, I don't think the team, I don't think that the fans will appreciate it. Could be worse.
So Steve says Damian is the biggest loser now. He lost the match and he lost his briefcase to Sammy. He probably takes the case to Israel.
They're not going to Israel. They're trying to get home ASAP. They're not even doing that. But go on. Sorry.
Like people were on that. They were boarding the jet while the show was still on. So no, listen, no.
Do you have any thoughts? Well, I'll leave the floor to you last. Mark wins, but Storm, do you have any thoughts you want to add about this?
In all honesty, I didn't know if I was watching the Judgment Day or the Goof Brothers all over again because it's a bunch of comedic jokes running around it. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, the Judgment Day, not that they're becoming stale, but let's be real. Without Rhea Ripley around, they look like a bunch of clowns. Damian Priest should have cashed this whole thing in already, or at least separated from the Judgment Day. I don't know what this style of Triple H is with elongated storylines, but kind of getting bored and over this already. In all hindsight, so no. This is one of those matches where match was at least solid. You can get a decent 4 out of it, pretty good finish, but that's about it. The goofballs that came out, there was no need for y'all to be there. I get it. There was nothing for y'all to do on the card, but no, leave.
Jeffrey, I'm sorry, Storm. We talked yesterday when we were talking about doing the show, and I said, the way you storytell, it just seemed like chicken you just take out of the freezer, you don't let it throw out, and you just put it in the microwave. Because what are you talking about? What are we doing here? I hope to do more shows with you guys. Mark wins, please take the floor, and then we're going to get into this main event.
I mean, we can sit here and we can talk about Storm storytelling, but I kind of agree that Judgment Day looked like goofballs because,
Hmm?
like I said, I thought that somewhere between Damian Priest and Finn Balor was their leader, and then here's Jay Uso with a chair against three guys, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we can't do anything about this. We gotta go. We can't do anything." Looking like Dick Dastardly from Wacky Racers. Like, oh my goodness, this is a dub. And it's like, maybe you guys are right. Judgment Day is a joke, and if Rhea Ripley's not there, it's a waste of time.
Stop it. Hold on. Wait. I'm sorry. Stop it, Steve. Stop it. He's trying to be funny here. Dom is the leader. No, we all know it's Rhea Ripley. Everybody in this video, can we all agree that is Rhea Ripley?
Right. So here's why. So like, boom. Like, I'm more convinced that it's Rhea Ripley because it wasn't Dom or Finn Balor that went to Drew McIntyre and was like, it was Rhea Ripley, as if Rhea Ripley wants Rhea Ripley wants Drew McIntyre in Judgment Day. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know what the storyline is with that. Based on what you guys are saying, I guess we need to hope that shit just ends. But maybe Drew McIntyre is the next Judgment Day guy, and maybe he can make something happen,
so.
and maybe he can.
Neither do I.
I do want to touch on this comment real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off, Mark Wins, so apologies. But we have Dolly Pool and says that, do you think LA Knight will face Logan Paul down the line, WrestleMania, and he can try to elevate the US title like Gunther has? I do see him. I think there's a potential for him to go against Logan Paul. I don't know at Mania, but I do see that as potential. Like, I could see him, I don't know, in the same. So Gunther has done such a great job on elevating that Intercontinental Championship. Something that someone mentioned was, and Steve in the chat, I love Steve. Steve is fantastic. Coolest of the daddies. He does not like Gunther. But I sit here and say, Gunther have done such a fantastic job on bringing that IC title. He even says the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. I think that's fantastic. Do I think that
IWC? That's hilarious.
Do I think that he could do in the same bracket? I don't think so, but I do think I would be down for a LA Knight United States title run because I think he could elevate the title in a way, not the same as Gunther, but in a way, if that makes sense.
So
and
saying,
so here we go.
So you're saying LA Knight? All he is slaps, not slaps, chops, and not any chops.
Hold on, wait. Whoa, hold on. Dom's better right now than who? How dare you, Steven? How dare you? Now you have just increased my blood pressure. He wished on Juventude's worst day, Dominic could not compete at all. Juventude could. Hold on. Wait. I have the power to mute you. Right now, I can sit here. Juvi could call out on a sick day and still show up at work. That's how good Juventud Guerrera is. Juventud is the greatest luchador of all time.
No,
Steve,
it's Dom. It's Dom Mysterio. I
hold
agree.
on. What did you say? Thank you. I have the power. Let's bring him back.
Dom Mysterio is still better than Juventud Guerrera.
You know what? You know. I'm not going to fight you. You know why I'm not going to fight you? Because your eyebrows are way stronger than mine. So you got me already beat. Dom bagged Rhea. Who did Juventud bag? The Cruiserweight Championship. How about that? I'm proud of that. So, but let's go up. Did you guys want any more thoughts?
Yeah, wait, hold on, because I want to go back to that comment.
Sure.
Are we saying that LA Knight will add more to the
United States Championship
than Logan Paul? Is that what we're going for here? That's what we're saying.
Logan Paul, I think he has name value, but he's not going to be here in the long run. Logan Paul, LA Knight will be. Like, he's not a part-timer. He's going to be here all the time. Logan Paul is. So I think I sit here and say, if you put the title on him, I think he would do a decent job with the title. I can't say, like, so for me, I can't compare the Intercontinental title and the United States title, but the way the Intercontinental Championship has been brought back to prestige, and I think me and you, JD, could talk because we watched wrestling around the same time, right? And there was a prestige for that Intercontinental Championship that has not been in a long time. I think Gunther have done a great job. The United States Championship, not so much. Austin Theory was the champion.
I forgot that was a thing.
See, that was a thing. Do you remember who beat him?
No.
Rey Mysterio.
Shit, how long do Rey Mysterio
But that's
have
fair. But that's fair. But you know what? I sit here and do
3
like
months.
I sit here and do like this. But that's fair because he's sitting there trying to say Austin Theory's run was not spectacular. Is that what you're trying to get at, right, sir?
Right.
Yeah,
So-
pretty
Talking
much.
about
Like, I forgot Austin Theory was a thing, and then like just with JD saying, he's had it for 4 months. I'm like, really? It's been 4 months already? Like,
See, I didn't even realize it was 4 months. Good eye, JD.
So Austin Theory had the U.S. title, and nobody cared.
No.
And
Matter of
then
fact, can I
Rey
say something real
Mysterio
quick?
had the title, and nobody cared. So
Right now, when you put the title on Logan Paul, people are going to talk about it because he is an influencer on YouTube. There's probably
Right.
something.
YouTube and probably the rest of social media, TikTok, Facebook. I don't know his presence on Facebook.
I don't think
but,
he does TikTok because he told Ricochet, "I'm not a TikToker, bro."
All right. Now if I go, never mind. So okay, cool. So he's not a TikToker. He's a YouTuber and he's a WWE wrestler. And it's like, so with when Roman and Logan Paul part-time, they need a champion on the brand. Do they though? Do they though? So back to boxing and even UFC, right? Now, granted, every time there's a big boxing pay-per-view, and every time there's a UFC event, the champions tend to, defend their title. But those titles are only defended every couple of months. So once again, now granted, we definitely are. I'm definitely strawmanning crazy. I understand I'm strawmanning crazy that we're comparing
Boxing and wrestling.
right? Boxing and UFC title matches to wrestling title matches. But does the idea that these title matches come few and far in between, does that not low key increase the prestige? Because it's like, oh, we're waiting, nothing's happening. Wait a minute, somebody's defending their title. I have to see this. Is that not like a thing that happens? Because every time, because it's part of the reason why Roman is a big deal. And when Brock had the title and he was part-timing, that was kind of a big deal because, correct me if I'm wrong, after a certain point, Brock was not defending that title every month, was he not?
No, he would only defend it at the Big Four. And I can't say it's a great thing because there are times where I'll never forget. I'll look and I'm saying, oh, shoot, look at the main event of Raw. U.S. title being defended. Yo, wait a minute. Wasn't there a world champion here? Yo, where's Brock? And that would constantly be the question I ask each and every time. Like, yo, wait, didn't we have a world title here? Where's Brock?
You did have a world title, and it's like you did have a world title, and that's the thing. The world title, if the world title is boom, right? All right, check this out. Take, for example, a TV title. I know there's been several TV titles, but pick one. A TV title that's defended every week. Does a TV title that's defended every week have the same prestige as a title that's defended every month? And here's my other question. Does a title that's defended every month have the same prestige as a title that's defended every couple of months? When you take when you take once again, crazy that I'm comparing wrestling to real sports. But real sports, those titles are only defended every year. It's once a year where you got the opportunity to win those titles. If you could win those titles every month, would everybody care? Oh, look, they're the world. Oh yeah, look, it's the NBA champions in
depends on the person,
and then it's the NBA title of October.
This is a big factor. This is one big factor.
Hold on. Here's the thing. I don't think it depends on the person because
it does.
Here's the thing. You can have LeBron winning player of the month every week, every month. Nobody cares. People only care when LeBron is up for the title, when LeBron's in the playoffs, when LeBron's up for the title. That's when it's like, oh shit, it's LeBron time. But like once again, like I said, maybe I'm picking cherries and picking straws because I'm comparing real sports to wrestling. So I understand that concept, and I'm open. What you call? I just wanted to get all those thoughts out because it's just like the idea that a champion is only defending their title 3 to 4 times out of the year when there's 12 months. It's like, and
it just depends on the person, depends on the champion. In all honesty, in all hindsight, like even if I could take it to UFC, where Brock was a coming attraction. Like he dominated every fighter that was put in front of him. It's not like he was fighting bums. He was fighting some real heavy hitter names. Now,
For sure.
I don't know who won the title after Brock, nor did I care.
right.
And at one point forgot that the heavyweight champion of UFC existed because, like, who the fuck were they? Like, why did I need to care about him? What did he really do throughout his career that made you so exciting to hold the belt? Randy Couture was exciting because, for God's sakes, you're damn near 65 and still able to knock people out. How are you doing this? You got people like the ice pick Chuck Liddell, where it's like, bruh, how do you leave your house with that goddamn haircut and you just be knocking fools out? All right, I'll give it to you.
Wait,
You got Quentin Rampage Jackson, who likes to beat down doors, but apparently he can beat your face down just as badly as he beat down doors. So it was great to see him, watching him with a title around his waist. So it just depends on the person. When it comes to Roman, nah, Roman's just not my guy. And it's probably what it is. I just don't really care for Roman. Like, at this point, I'm kind of bored seeing him with the belt. At least with Roman, at least with Brock, when Brock was running around Brock would do comedic, stupid shit, and it was just funny to watch him. But when it came to a fight,
Jeff, come on. Storm, let's be serious for a second. Brock Lesnar was not always doing that. He did that during his second run. He was not doing his first run. He also had a talking mouthpiece named Paul Heyman. So when you have all these different variables that come into play, things become more tolerable. Paul Heyman was there on every Raw show. Brock Lesnar was not. So it's different. So I get what you're saying. You might have enjoyed maybe Brock Lesnar doing this because you had a bigger appreciation for Brock because Brock came in dominant. Roman Reigns, you just saw him grow into this god figure, and now you're like, okay, well, this is unacceptable. And the only reason we think some of this stuff is unacceptable because we've never seen it before. Now, if this was the norm, to Mark's point, of UFC and to boxing and some of that, these people are not showing this stuff over and over. And we want longevity. We want to see these people all the time, and we get it. We're paying a bunch of money to see a certain wrestler. If you're not going to see them, you feel a type of way. And I do understand that. But to have a title defense every single pay-per-view is just unnecessary. Because
you know what else too? I'm sorry. No, finish your please finish your thoughts.
No, just say what happens is it becomes kind of stale, and we are like, well, like right now, like, well, when are they gonna lose the belt? Like I was complaining about Rhea Ripley, but then I'm looking like, okay, well, it's not that bad of a title run. It's just okay, well, who's gonna step up?
Right. I can understand. I did want to pick a little bit on that because, the thing about, we talk about these champions who are not here all the time. And I think as wrestling fans, we're conditioned to have a world heavyweight champion all the time because that's how we're conditioned, especially in the later years, the last, I want to say 25 years, I want to say. But I sit here and go, one of the things I was taught, so and Storm, I think me and you had a conversation, right? Like many times. And we talked about Brock and he was champion. You were like, man, Brock ain't here. But how special did it feel when you heard the guitar riff? And you're like,
oh no, it was definitely special. It was special.
And I feel like that's the same way with Roman. Like when they now granted, it's a little bit more different because now they sit there. I don't know how often they did. I just don't remember on top of my head how often they did with Brock, what they would do. Brock returns.
They don't.
We get that more.
It was rare when they did it. When Brock showed up, it was exciting because you never knew he was coming. Whereas with Roman, every time he leaves for a few months, Roman Reigns returns. No, don't tell me.
But it still feels special because when you see Roman and you hear the you immediately like, oh snap.
I just immediately do the whatever.
Well, we're going to talk after the show.
Roman's not my guy. He's just not my guy.
It's fine. You just don't like. You're a Knicks fan. Yeah. You're a Knicks fan. That's fine.
Clearly not.
I'll wait till we get to the Roman match to expand on this point because I really
sure, but no, I like messing with you, Storm. I like to believe that you know that, but I just feel like what they do with Roman is just try to dig on Mark's point. I thought you made some really great points. Mark is the casual, and here he was making some fantastic. Are you serious?
He leave?
Did he leave? He's fired. But I sit here and go to dig on your point. I thought you made some valid points when you're saying, just to get to your point where you're saying, yeah, we have the World Heavyweight Champion, but he wasn't on every show. But there would be a card that, and I would use UFC because I feel like UFC, they were, the name. Look at the name. Look at the name. Look at his name. Look at his name. I can't stand this man. You could have just changed it. But I did to dig on your point.
But it don't prosper. That's the devil.
He to point out that what you were saying is pretty much like the World Heavyweight Champion don't have to be on the show all the time, and when they do show up, it just makes it feel special, right? Is that what you were trying to get at? Talking about Mark Wayne?
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, right? Do we want to bring up JD's point from several matches back? Do we need another Jack Swagger, someone that like has the title and doesn't quite deserve it? Because I remember when that happened. Man's had the Money in the Bank, and he won the title. I don't remember who he won the title off of, but I remember
Jericho. He won it off Jericho.
Okay, so I remember he won the title, and I was like, wow, they gave this man the title. I'm gonna give this a shot. Worst shot I ever gave anybody ever in life. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, he was not good. He was not championship material. So it's like, so you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, they're part-timers. And like I said, this is going ahead of my point because I definitely wanted to bring this up during the Roman match. But it's like, you can sit there and like, oh yeah, they're part-timers, blah, blah, blah. But if there's not enough, if there's not a high enough caliber, if there's not enough high caliber people to wrestle these guys, do you really need your champion showing up every match to beat the same guys over and over and over again? Because then what happens then? Here's my rebuttal to that.
People. But I have a rebuttal to that.
I have a rebuttal to that. What happens is your potential people that could beat those guys, those potential guys that could be champions, because they keep getting beat over and over and over again, they lose their luster. They lose because they just keep getting beat. I remember my brother. Y'all remember my brother Justin, Jay Fury. He would sit there and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's good that they only have one champion because he's a big I don't know if he still is, but he was a big John Cena fan. That was his guy. And they had John Cena defend over and over again. And his thing was, yeah, we didn't need a bunch of champions because we had John Cena. But back in the day, you had a Rock. You had a Stone Cold. You had an Undertaker. You had a Jericho. You had all these Triple H. You had all these guys that could potentially win the championship. So that's why you had them on. But if not everybody has the potential to win the championship, why do you have your champion on every show? To keep beating these guys over and over and over again? And now they have no shot because they just keep getting beat. And it's like, because if you think it's stale now with the one guy coming on every 2-3 months, could you imagine how stale it would be if Roman kept beating LA Knight? If he kept beating Seth?
We're getting into this right now with the main event, right? So I would say this, I'll ask Jeff this question. If Roman Reigns was on TV every day, every SmackDown for the last year, is LA Knight even in the main event conversation today?
No.
My point and Mark's point exactly. So this gives an opportunity for these people to sit there and run their mouths, to build their character and get up there, because that takes away a TV spot. I don't have time for the Roman Reigns 10 cutbacks, because there are at least 3 to 4 times you're going to see Roman Reigns in that office, Roman Reigns talking to Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns talking to somebody on the phone, and then here goes Roman Reigns in the match. He takes up 3 to 4 segments per show. You move that gives time the people to shine. So I think that's the ultimate point Mark is trying to make.
And I also think too, if I can just throw in, it makes Roman feel special when he eventually shows up. I mean, like, I just think that's a main key. Like, when you're world heavyweight champion, where, like how you guys were talking about stagnation and being stagnant and just, you see him so much, but when you don't see the champion enough, and then you hear, and once again, when you hear Brock, and I use Brock because Brock was, when he won the championship, he was a part-time champion. But when you heard that guitar riff, he was like, same thing with Roman. Even when they said, hey, he'll be here next week, it was a big deal. I think also too, it just make your world heavyweight champion feel special. And then when he does show up, and eventually he will drop that championship. I know Mark. I feel like I want to save this for the end. Matter of fact, why don't we just jump into it? Let's jump into this main event.
Jeff,
We already.
was this Jean Baptiste? How do you feel about Seth Rollins now? Because you didn't like him a few segments ago. And he's there every week.
I still don't care for Seth Rollins.
He's there every single week, doing the same thing over and over.
This is why we have JD on the show, bro. This is why we have him on here. This is why
like Seth Rollins.
I'm not gonna lie. This is. You know what this is giving back our feelings? If I can just sit here and pull the curtain back a little bit. That time you guys argued about Dawson's Creek.
No, I'll do you one better. The time where Jean Baptiste had the nerve, the mitigated gall to say that Austin versus who was the best WrestleMania match of all time? You remember that one?
Oh, when I said Brock and Goldberg, what the hell was I thinking?
The
hell was I thinking? Jesus.
Credibility gone. All right, let's close this out.
Let's clear this out. We have LA Knight against Roman Reigns. I'm not even going to dig too much deep into the match. I'm not surprised Roman Reigns retained. I'm glad. So my biggest thing was right in this match was that LA Knight had a good showing. I'm not a big LA Knight fan, but I do see I do understand the hype behind him. I do understand he is a superstar. He's do I believe that he's a mega superstar? Absolutely. I've just never been big on his in-ring work. But when you give him a mic and all that stuff, he doesn't let you down. He's capable of doing all that stuff. I thought that I thought he did a great job, and I thought also too that meaning WWE did a great job. A lot of people felt like Roman was going to beat LA Knight clean. I didn't think so. I said, nah. I thought that Roman there was going to be some interference, and it was. Jimmy Uso showed up. You had Solo made a brief cameo as well. Paul Heyman interfered. There was a spot. I forgot what it was exactly what interfered with LA Knight. You guys can fill in the blank if you guys remember, but there was a spot, and then Roman speared him through the barricade, then speared him in the ring. It took 2 spears to take out Roman, take out LA Knight.
Oh, it was Jimmy. And fucking Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy definitely came out.
That walking disappointment.
And you walking. Are you saying what my mother has been calling me lately? How dare you?
He's a walking disappointment. Like, oh my god.
But yeah, Roman retains, and I'm not surprised by this because I also sit here and go, there's also the storyline of the Bloodline taking out AJ. I don't know when we get AJ against Roman because I'm hearing Roman will not be at Survivor Series this year. So that means we won't be seeing Roman for the rest of the year, it sounds like. But Roman and AJ, I'm excited about that. I mean, they've had some great matches in 2016. If you guys have not seen that or don't remember, check that out. They had some really good clashes. So it just makes me excited about that. But I'm not surprised LA Knight took the L. LA Knight should have took the L. LA Knight is not the one to take the title off Roman. I sat here and I told Jean Baptiste plenty of times that it is going to be Cody because Cody has to finish the story. So
that's the devil.
I'm gonna give it to JD because he's been the more sane individual of the both of us, of all 4 of us. JD, what did you think about this? I'm gonna give it to Mark wins, and then we'll give it to the Baptiste King.
Thoughts of the match. I mean, the match it gave what it was going to give. We all know what happens in a Roman Reigns title match or a Roman Reigns match. You're going to get a little bit of the bloodline, like you mentioned before in the highlights. I'm actually glad that LA Knight did not win because I don't see what you see. You say you see a megastar superstar in the making. I don't see that.
You're not a fan of LA Knight.
It's not. I just feel like he's just fake. Like I'm not trying to call him a Kevin Nash, but it just feels like it's just not authentic or just I don't know, man. Like I think the best thing he did at like maybe.
Are you not? I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. I do want to dig a little bit into that. So you're not feeling LA, and so I make it clear I'm not even like super big on LA, but I do see the potential, but you don't see potential in him? Like, do you think that he's somebody who can contribute to the roster?
Yeah, the mid-card level.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Take the floor.
Yeah, but that's my synopsis of the match. I don't think it was all that great. It wasn't that bad. I felt like it did what it needed to do, but I don't need to see LA Knight get in a rematch.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to highlight this comment right here. Do you think the Bloodline will recruit The Rock's daughter, and that's when he'll get involved for Roman for the head of the table at WrestleMania? Do you guys think that the Bloodline will recruit Rock's daughter?
No.
I don't know. I have no dog in that fight, so I have no idea.
You don't have a dog, period. Thank you. What about you, JD?
I don't think so. I mean, and if it does happen, I'm not too sure that's where The Rock gets drawn in. I think if that were to happen,
I honestly
drawn in something else, somewhere else.
I honestly don't even want The Rock involved in this because one, Rock is, listen, Rock he's in great shape. I saw a Fast X, and he was in the post-credit thing. I don't want to see it because Roman just beats Rock. Like, at the end of the day, if Rock is involved, cool, Roman's going to beat him. And I would hope that they would go that route, but I don't even know because they had Goldberg beat The Fiend. So I don't even know at this point anymore. But we got also, too, we had Steve said LA Knight survived. The fact that Roman left this in TNA full kick out of the Superman punch and get out of the guillotine tells you all you need to know about what Roman really thinks about LA Knight. I think he meant to say LA Knight. I don't think he finished it. What do you think, Baptiste? What do you think about because you was rooting for LA Knight, and
that's because my stupid ass had high hopes.
No, he was just high.
What gave you
JT
any kind of like what?
Yo, JD is great. As soon as he heard it, he's like, wait, what are you doing?
You had hopes.
I had hopes.
I'm
tired of seeing Roman with that damn belt. No, honesty. I'm just
LA Knight was going to be your savior.
Yes. Anybody but that damn devil.
This is why JD will be invited back to the show. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? What are you doing?
Smoking a cigarette.
He does do that, He doesn't, for whatever reason.
Quiet you.
Jean Baptiste is immune to the effects of nicotine. I don't get it. Always has been. I don't understand it.
What do you think about? I'm sorry, I don't know. Was you finished with your thought, Baptiste?
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, I'm done.
This show has been totally off the air, but this is probably my favorite show I've done all year, like in general. Like, you guys are awesome, but you're done, so that means shut up. Mark Owen, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, if there was an award for most predictable match of the year, it was probably this one, because the only way LA Knight was winning this title was if the Saudis gave WWE an offer that they couldn't refuse. That's it. That's the only way I see LA Knight winning at this juncture anyway. Like, you can sit there and argue, oh, maybe he doesn't have this match, and maybe they build him up, and they have him at WrestleMania instead of Cody because apparently it's Cody's story to finish. So if it's that, then whatever. But here, now, no, impossible. Like I said, the only way that happens is if they give if the Saudis give an offer that WWE, matter of fact, an offer that TKO can't refuse, right? Because it's now WWE and UFC as a single company. But
yeah,
that's a whole other thing. My bad for even bringing it up, right? But
all good.
But standard Roman match, like JD said, yeah, I don't. There was no way LA was. There was very little way that LA Knight was winning that match, and I know I know you, great Grand Slam Poobah, have been waiting for me to say this, but if it's up to me, if I was booking this, if I was booking Roman Reigns, I personally wouldn't have him lose the title. I would literally have him retire with the title. I'd have him win the title and just keep winning it. And when he has his last match, he unties his boots. He takes off his shirt, folds it up in the middle of the ring, and then title 1, title 2, title 3. I don't know how many titles he has. Maybe he has 3. Maybe he has 8. I don't really know. But he retires and the titles. And then when he gets to the top of the stage, he says, I done beat everybody. Y'all can do with them titles what you want. And then leaves. Throws the mic. Doesn't even drop it. Throws the mic and walks off. And then
explodes.
Yeah, right. Fireworks and all that. That's a fact. As soon as the mic lands, somebody has to produce that properly. But that's what I would do, because once again, I'm going to go back to the point that I was making earlier. Who is there to contend with this guy? Like, I just don't see it. And I know you say Cody, and I get it. Like from a booking standpoint, it's Cody's story, but I don't even see that, because he beat him already. He beat Cody, he beat Brock, beat everybody. He's beaten everybody. There's nobody there, and I don't.
Only because they don't open the door for me.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Fair enough. But like, they just don't. I don't know. I don't know who realistically beats. I don't know who realistically beats Roman, right? And I feel like the only way, because like apparently they're still bloodline members, so there's still that. So, and you can sit there and say, oh, so maybe Judgment Day versus the Bloodline. No, because they're jokes. Like, I just don't. I don't see what happens here. And if you have Roman drop it, it has to. I don't see Cody beat. I get it. It's like, oh, it's Cody's story. I don't see it. It has to come sometime down the line. And I feel like when you have somebody beat him, it has to be someone, I don't want to say new, but it has to be someone that needs that win. And personally, I don't think Cody needs that win. I don't. Cody's already established. He came back. He did his thing. He lost to Roman Reigns, and he's still popping. Does he really need the win? No. You know what he does? He wins the fucking vacated title tournament. I just don't see it. I don't see who beats Roman Reigns. I don't, because it's really that it has Goldberg vibes. I remember, like, who beats Goldberg? You know who had that? You know how they beat Goldberg? What did they do with Goldberg? They had a taser and all that shit. Like, they went into fucking smoking. Yeah, go ahead and leave. I get it. I understand. Go ahead and leave. They had to go in to fucking take down Goldberg. It has that type of vibes. It has that kind of vibes. Where it's like, how do you beat this character? How do you beat him? You kind of don't.
You do, but you know.
You do. How do you do it? I'm all ears. How do you beat Roman Reigns?
Put him against the Fiend in the Hell in a Cell match and watch that shit fall apart.
So wait, what?
Right?
The Fiend?
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, it's a little too late for that.
Yeah, he's gone.
The Saudis don't believe that. They still want Yokozuna over there.
That was a thing that they did say that. That was crazy. Yo.
What did it say?
About how the Saudis wanted Yokozuna in the match.
They did.
That was.
They wanted Yokozuna and Ultimate Warrior.
Right. That's ridiculous. Wow. Like, huh?
But that also shows you how far behind they are. Like, very much far behind that they are. Aw. Who's the lovely? That was a beautiful child there. Who is that?
Oh,
I don't know if you can.
Little Damien's one of ours.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Is
little
that
guy?
another baby for Jean Baptiste? Did I miss
No,
it?
no. That is not a little Jean Baptiste, no. But now he can be, but he goes back to his mom soon.
But we got someone in the chat. They wanted to, I won't highlight it, but they were talking about Stacy Keibler, Tori Wilson, and Trish Stratus. That's hard. You could have said something marry and avoid. I used to have a huge crush on Tori Wilson, so I would marry Tori Wilson. I'm just gonna answer it just simply as that because I loved Tori Wilson.
Who are the three?
Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus, and Stacy Keibler.
Stacy Keibler.
Hold on, I'm switching to the phone. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
Go ahead.
Definitely Stacy Keibler.
I'm avoiding Tori Wilson.
Wow.
She for the streets.
Nah, I'm just going based on like their appearance. I'm avoiding Tori Wilson. I am gonna do Stacy Keibler, and I'm marrying Trish Stratus.
Listen, that was honestly a hard one because I mean Trish Stratus is all of them are just so beautiful, and I know that they are all just happy women now. I know Trish and Stacy, they have kids, I believe, and Tori, I don't believe so, but I had the hugest crush on Tori Wilson. Dolly Poole says, "Cute baby, brother." Talking to you because we don't talking about you, Jean Baptiste.
Oh, appreciate it.
But I think that's pretty much the show.
Jean or the John?
Jean.
Oh, okay.
I was confused. I was gonna say, I hope I said it right.
No,
but that's really the show here, guys. We just want to sit here and say thank you guys for being with us for the Big Pop Theory podcast. This was a YouTube show. We're an audio podcast. We hope to have more content here on the YouTube channel. These gentlemen here, I've spoke to them, and we've all discussed maybe talking about some ideas for having some content here on the YouTube channel. I want to thank you, gentlemen. I'm gonna wait for JD to come back. He said he was coming back. He's making a transfer or something like that. But I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me here. Oh, he's back. There we go. What a do-rag. Okay, you wanted to change it up.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to get ready to go take the shape up. That's all.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna end the show. I want to thank you, gentlemen, once again for joining me here. I want to thank you guys for listening, joining us for the live post show for Crown Jewel. We hope to be back here again for Survivor Series. We're going to talk for the after show and see maybe if you guys want to do that. Oh, we heard I'm in, but we're going to talk after the show. But we're going to click this end stream. But I do want to sit here and say we are Big Pop Theory Podcast is an audio podcast. We're on Apple, Google, and what's the thing?
Spotify.
Google. No, it's Google. Oh, and what's the thing called? It's not StreamYard. God, it begins with an S. Can't think of it.
It's not Spotify?
Spotify! Thank you. I was going to get there. I was testing you. But it's not Spotify.
It seems like Bad Guy Jack is on a delay.
I'm on a delay. Am I on a delay?
You're probably not, but you clearly didn't hear John. You didn't hear Jean Baptiste say that.
Well, he's on a delay. But it's an audio podcast. Please tune in. We usually have a new episode on Monday talking about, and it's more black light. We should have it on Monday for the audio podcast. And gentlemen, was there anything that you guys wanted to plug? Do you guys have a Twitch or anything that you want to plug for people to follow you, such and such?
Desert Storm 459 across all platforms, Twitch, Twitter, and geez, you're puking, ain't you? All right, buddy. Desert Storm 459 anywhere. Just type it in, you'll find it. I promise. Come on, buddy. We're gonna clean you up. Time to give you a bath now. Jesus.
He's such a daddy. What about you? What about you, gentlemen?
I ain't got nothing to plug. I'll be chill.
So we just want to sit here and say thank you guys for tuning in here. Gentlemen, please stay before as I end the show. And we say we'll see you guys for more content here. And also tune here on Thursdays. My co-hosts, Whit and Cat We Trust, they talk about NXT and they review the show. So please tune in here for that. Like and share and all that stuff. And we'll guys see you for the next go around.